seem to remember to get no paper towel. A hobby you're most passionate about right now. A hobby that I'm most passionate about right now. Thank you for the thumbs up. What's a hobby that I'm most passionate about right now, child? Listen, between you and I, it's all about the YouTube. Shh, don't tell me. It's all about the YouTube.
These viral Paleo Belly beef sticks are on sale right now for
30 beef sticks for $36.
These are the most delicious beef sticks on the market. There are tons of flavors.
All right, you guys, happy Wednesday to everyone except Andrew Colvat.
Oh no, Andrew, what happened? Andrew, what happened? He done called us straight already. Not on the intro. How you got a story already?
Yeah, because yesterday he went on to Dave Rubin's show and he said that Erica was not seeking the spotlight. Take a listen to this.
Erica has always been tremendous, and she never sought the limelight. She was always very happy to sort of be doing her own thing and just be supportive of Charlie.
I gasped when I heard that. What? Wild. That is wild. I mean, at this stage, I could probably write a biography on Erica's life, and my conclusion thereafter would be that I have never seen someone throughout their life demonstrate such a consistent interest and make such a concerted effort to become famous. I say that truly. And you know what? We just now have to get back into their story.
Check out these stats. 587,643 views. I was sitting down looking at TV. My God, this popcorn is salty. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Look, what have I done? And Candace had ran across my algorithm on TV. You know, because we logged in on YouTube, on the TV. And she was live at the time. 105,000 people in the live stream. I said, I'll be back to you tonight, ma'am. I'll be back. 46,000 likes. Come on, stop playing with her.
In Erica's story, you should know more about how they met. Plus, later on that same topic, Matt Walsh tweeted a thing. He's a staunch defender of Erica, which made the thing that he tweeted last night ironic to say the least. Welcome back to Bride of Charlie.
Oh, Bride of Charlie. That's crazy how I caught that.
We have nothing to hide.
Welcome back to Bride of Charlie.
Okay, so first thing I want to say at the top here is that this Erica Kirk story would not be complete if it did not also feature a few questionable Catholics, right? I'm sorry, Catholics, but it does. We cannot deny the facts here. And it tracks. I mean, we've been going through this journey. We've got filthy evangelical pastors. We've got shady Mormons. We've got terrible Jews. This is like a game of Pokemon at this point. We have to catch them all. Anyway, we had explained to you guys on a previous episode that wherever Erica and Lori go, accusations of financial fraud tend to follow, right? Throwing it back to the Erpenbeck brothers, Uncle Rick Erpenbeck, that brand new glossy Tesseract school, ultimately a charter scam in which money inexplicably vanished, just evaporated into thin air. The school went bankrupt, and that's where Erica went for elementary school. So it's like literally Ohio, and then she goes to Arizona.
Okay, wait a minute. So it used to be, they changed it from you. I guess if it was YU, I would have been like, oh, you got it. Okay. I don't know that. Telugu? Is that Telugu? 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 I don't know. Hold on, let me see how I can pronounce that. Who is Brahma? Lord Brahma. Hold on, give me a second. I got some Telugu. I don't know. Let me see how to pronounce it. Just give me the pronunciation. Okay, hold on.
Telugu.
Telugu. I was so wrong. Telugu. Hold on, let me see if she got it right or he got it right. Telugu. I don't know if that one was right. Let me see.
What two fruits can help ripen an avocado quickly? Is it an orange and a lime, a peach and a strawberry, or C?
What's with this music?
We are looking at how to pronounce this word, as well as how to say more interesting and related words in English. So make sure to stay tuned and consider subscribing.
I think you
How
might
do you go about pronouncing it? Telugu.
Telugu.
Both British and American.
Telugu. Telugu. Say it right. Okay, Telugu. And then who is... Wait a minute. Lord Brahma. Who was Lord Brahma? Uh-oh. Hold on. Colton, please. We don't need to know your business. I've seen this statue before. I don't think I've ever known the name of it. Brahma. Hindu believes in God Brahma. Not me. Got you. Shitty booty. Brahma. How we got for Brahma? Indonesian. Okay. Brahma. Oh, interesting. I've always seen that statue, but I just didn't know what was the name of it. Lord Brahma. Telugu. And what was the other one again? Yugari. Okay. Oh my goodness. Lord Brahma. If you ever explore it. Oh, it's Yugari. That's the new year in India. Since you all in my business. Something of a mystery. How are you a god but a mystery? As the God of creation, the divine architect who brings the universe and all living beings into existence. He's one. What is that? Trimurti? Trimurti? Oh, Shiva. My girl. Oh, okay. Trimurti. The trio. Telugu. Language people celebration. This festival. So the cycle of life can continue. I know Shiva. Despite his role as the creative god in Hinduism, Brahma is the least worshipped of the three. His temples are rare and the myths often involve complex relationships and divine curses. Oh. Over how he was created, how he shaped the universe, and why his role is less prominent than other Hindu gods. Born from a lotus that sprouted from the navel. Not a lotus floating in the cosmic ocean. What is going on? I guess that's better than Mary, ain't it? And Jesus, she just, I'm pregnant. Child, listen, you got a golden cosmic egg. Oh my goodness. Child, Lord Brahma, it's Hindu god. Yeah, I'm over here on Google. I'm reading that. Paul's Candies. Okay, then we got male and female to begin the process. Oh my goodness, Brahma, please. Oh my. Time elements in natural law. Okay, into motion. Oh my goodness. Let me get back to Candace. I get all confused, fooling over there with Lord Brahma.
These financial things kind of just surrounding them. And then we happened upon some interesting information. We learned that Tesseract afterward became Notre Dame Prep. And I was like, well, how? Well, it turns out, and I was asking, like, how did the Catholics get involved with that? Tesseract school was definitely a very Jewish school in general. Well, it makes sense because I guess in this story, because Erica can be at various times Catholic, evangelical, or Jewish. It just depends on the audience that she's trying to get a check from. But there we have seen there is a current of Catholicism that is floating in this story. Obviously, as I told you, the church that Charlie was attending, the priest that she takes with her everywhere, despite denying that she's Catholic or whatever. She took him with her to Utah when Charlie died. Well, the story goes regarding Tesseract that after they filed for bankruptcy in 2001, they put their old campus up for sale, and it was purchased by the Diocese of Phoenix when they then turned it into Notre Dame Prep, where Erica then enrolls for high school. Now, this decision and the process was overseen by Bishop Thomas J. O'Brien. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. I want to learn more about this. And I should note that he was very significant in building up the Catholic community in Phoenix. I mean, under his leadership, which began in 1982, 15 additional parishes were founded, including the one that Erica is very close to today. But, not close enough to publicly acknowledge in front of the evangelical donors. Charlie was evangelical. It doesn't matter if he was going to Mass every day. Go after Candace for telling the truth because donors. Okay, weird. Anyway, he was the bishop until 2003 when he received the distinct honor of becoming the very first Catholic bishop in America to ever be charged with a felony. I was just like, how could this be possible? I'm just doing a little bit of research. How is everybody just going to be involved in scandals? You're wondering what he did. He killed somebody accidentally, he says. He was arrested for a hit and run in 2003 that killed Jim Lee Reed. But by a hit and run, I mean that he did not bother stopping or calling the police. He went home, had some dinner, had a sleep, went to his sister's house the following day. The police were able to capture him because of the very obvious damage that was done to his car, which included a cracked windshield. And when he was discovered, he said that, well, I didn't report the accident because I thought I hit a cat or a dog. For clarity, the person that he hit was 240 pounds and over 6 feet. So big cat or a big dog. Remarkably, Thomas O'Brien only got 4 years of probation for this. The Vatican, of course, then accepted his resignation. He staffs, though, the school that Erica then attends. And that, by the way, is not going to spell the end of his legal trouble because then in 2002, this is Maricopa County, you guys. I'm going to just assume everything that happens in Maricopa County is problematic at this point. But in 2002, prosecutors initiated a grand jury investigation into charges of sexual abuse by Catholic priests, that were staffed by O'Brien. He became a target of the investigation for allegedly covering up the allegations of the priests who he had staffed. It's sounding a bit reminiscent of when we talked about Calvary Chapel and how they were kind of intentionally going around and finding these pastors and rehabilitating them and moving them around who had a connection.
Well, hold on, give me a second, because she'll be flying through shit. She don't even offer you no visuals or nothing. She just be rambling. And for the visual learners, we have to pause and figure out wait, hold on, because the rabbit hole is okay. The Tesseract school, and then it ended up getting sold, and then the school Notre Dame Prep, something with this bishop. It's all over
Sex abuse, right? Well, he doesn't want to go to prison again. He didn't go the first time, but like he's worried. And in exchange for immunity, he just comes clean. He admits that several times during his 22-year tenure, he had placed children in harm's way by transferring priests who had been accused of abuse to his parishes, and that he did not inform the parishioners of doing that or his new superiors. So again, I will ask the question, what goes on in Maricopa County? It's obviously not anything good. Why does it seem to me that there happens to be so much corruption? Like it's just like an established colony of corruption. It is, I believe, factually the most corrupt county, and I'm talking about in politics in America. Who is driving that corruption? We get closer throughout this series. Anyway, I wanted to just pop that in and tell you that because it's just remarkable that the most basic fact checks, you're in Arizona, you land upon these things nonstop. Now we're going to jump right back into our Erica timeline because, boy, do I have something to share with you regarding 2018. Let's jump in where we left off. So in 2015, Erica is 27 years old, okay? It is entirely unclear what she is doing for work. And it's important to stress she's 27 years old. This is not 18, 19, just got out of the house, don't know what I'm doing. I'm just wondering, how is she affording to live? Okay, she's still dating JT Massey during this time. We also have that on July 11th, Lori France and Tyler Boyer and Erica are going to be behind Donald Trump for his presidential campaign rally. Now, you will recall, this is when the story gets pretty fuzzy. Erica thinks that she met Tyler at that rally, but Tyler tells the story that she called him up before that rally and offered to help, so the details get murky. She can't remember how she met him, kind of thinking it was years earlier when her mother was doing deals with the Farnsworth family for EMPs and getting money again from the government for fear-mongering. There's going to be these EMP attacks. Anyway, in mid-August of that year, Erica goes to Canada. She travels to Montreal, through to Estrel, Quebec, again, not knowing how she is affording this lifestyle. She is traveling with Nicole Rothstein. We have that in November. Her mother establishes G Tech Industries, LLC. And you're going to say, what does it do? It's Lori. So it's like this. She's doing this whole EMP thing and she's getting money and she's saying this is the threat and she's working with people that she knows and she's going to get your tax dollars for doing that. And so that's what she's doing with G-Tech. We have then thereafter that Erica soft launches another charity that's called For the Cause in Phoenix. And yes, the cause is always going to be children. It has something to do with children at a hospital, but it looks like it never really gets out of the gate. I mean, that's today. It says coming fall of 2015. It looks like it never did arrive, but she was associated with that project. That is all that we can find in terms of what Erica was doing for work in that year. We jump into 2016, and now you should know that Erica is 28. She's going to be 28 years old, and we still have no idea what she is doing for work. And now she's living in New York City, one of the most expensive cities in the world. So the question you should ask yourself is, how is she making money to afford this lifestyle? And I'm going to remind you that these are the years that the people at Next Model Management remember that she was at Next Model Management, and she was in charge, or the point person for the quote-unquote model apartments where they put the models that were coming from Eastern Europe, and that she was attached in particular to a building on the Upper East Side. So that would track if she was getting paid that way. Otherwise, I can't figure out what she's doing. Okay. On May 9th, she shares that she's location scouting in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. For what? It is unclear. In the past, she's made statements that she was a casting director. Casting directors are not the same as location scouts. So this is kind of the Jane of all trades thing that she is consistently selling. Later on in the future, she's going to claim that this is the year that she launched Bible in 365. On a future post, she says, in 2016, I started Bible in 365 in my New York City apartment. that is objectively untrue according to corporate filings, okay? That just did not happen, but she alleges that in a future post. This is also a year that her mother is just going to receive an honorary degree conferred upon her at a university I've never heard of, AATC University Graduation Program. That is Lori, not Erica. To be clear, the picture is a little blurry, but they just get things. They just get things handed out, and it's AATC. To be clear, stands for Advancing Achievers Technology and Cybersecurity University. Okay. In August, Lori will then go to Utah and attend an expo, Utah of all places, for G-Tech Industries. So she's kind of looking for people to buy into what looks to me to be a scam, okay? Protect yourself from an EMP attack. It's this constant fear-mongering that she's going to do. I've said my feelings about Lori Franzweh, so I will leave that alone. But that's what she is doing. And then in August, we find Erica somewhere in the Mediterranean. I could not figure out where she was. My guess would be Croatia or Italy, based on the water that certainly is the Mediterranean Sea. Again, unclear how she's affording this lifestyle to be able to travel the world and do these sorts of things while living in New York City and not having a job that is apparent to us. Lori then releases an intent to sell G-Tech Industries to Saxon Capital Group. A little fun fact here, Saxon Capital Group is actually Lori. Lori is an 86% owner of Saxon Capital Group. They released this onto PR Newswire, and then it turns out that years later, Saxon Capital Group, with Lori as a minor partner, they're going to file for an IPO, and they're like, yeah, no, we actually never did that deal. So just a little bit more of Lori trickery, oh, I'm selling my company, and then she doesn't actually sell it to them, according to them. In 2017, Erica is going to get busy, but once again, we're not going to really understand what she's actually doing, okay? She's doing everything and nothing at the same time, always. Reminding you, this is a 29-year-old woman. She's about to be 30. Okay, you can't just not do something in life unless you're unspeakably wealthy. I guess that could be the lifestyle, but that's not the circumstance for Erica Kirk. On January 12th, she establishes the Elm Group LLC. Okay, no idea what this company does. Nothing makes sense in terms of what this company does. I could not figure out what this company does. If you know, please let me know. Maybe you've worked with the Elm Group. I'm going to go with Erica's kind of doing what her mom does and just creating a lot of LLCs. There's no description that is offered on those documents. On February 1st, as you guys may have seen, she then appears in this documentary that's called Black Start by Patria Patrick. The documentary also features the CIA director, James Woolsey. Now, I want to say this documentary is about EMP attacks, right? How the government needs to prepare for them. So it's a bit more of her mother's propaganda, so to speak. And she is going to present her mother's business model. I'll let you take a listen to a quick clip of this.
We have 5 major threats that make our grid extremely vulnerable that we've presented to congressional officials. 1 being cyber, 2 being hackers, 3 being physical threats, 4th one is solar EMP, and the 5th one is man-made EMP. So the concern that we have is that we put out this critical information, and when we go over this risk analysis, they hear what we're saying, but they don't want to take action.
If you're a dad watching this and you don't have life insurance, we need to have an honest conversation here real quick. I get it. You think you're invincible.
When she says we, I don't know who she's speaking about. I don't know why she has the background to be featured in this documentary. There were a lot of people online that were kind of trying to minimize this and be like, oh, well, it's not, the CIA is not involved in this. It's just the director is featured in the documentary. You can't just ring up the CIA and ask them to be in your documentary. I want you to know that's not a thing. So think through the common sense there. If I want to do a documentary on EMPs and I'm just a random girl that is in pageant world, that's pretty much all she's accomplished at this point in her life, right? How am I getting the CIA involved in that? There's obviously a connection there, and it just annoys me when people are constantly trying to offend us. We're just so stupid that, no, nothing to see here ever. That's just, the CIA director just normally does that. You just got to hit him up. Call a 1-800 number, and he'll be featured in your random documentary, too. And again, what qualifies her for that, nobody knows. On July 24th, her mother then opens that mysterious LLC, Desert Spirit Tech LLC. That is the one that should not especially be ignored. Opening up tech in the middle of the, and I hope I'm saying this right, the Tohono O'odham Reservation, Indian Reservation. Nothing good happens on Indian reservations that Americans get involved in, okay? It's basically, you can do whatever you want. No rules apply. People are trafficked. There's drug trafficking. In fact, when she gets involved, I think they had just shut down. It passes to Mexico. They had the San Miguel Gate on the Tohono Reservation, which passed through to Mexico, and there's nothing the feds can do. Like, what is Lori doing with a Native American reservation? Can anybody tell me what tech she's doing, that she's involving herself there? Is she involved with casinos? Is Desert Spirit Tech casino stuff? I don't know. The fact that she has all of these LLCs and we don't know what she is, I would like to continue to stress, is exceedingly problematic, especially given her relationships with the government. Okay? I don't like this area. I don't like what goes on in Arizona, down by the border, and the people that Lori Franz Faye involves herself with. This year, Erica is dating Cabot Phillips, by the way. I told you she has a boyfriend every single year. Cabot Phillips is her boyfriend. At this time, they're painting together. Cute, very cute. Anyway. And per her LinkedIn, she begins attending Liberty University for her master's degree. So you can see that there. Again, she's going to say she attends for 2 years. Obviously, it's online, her attendance. And she is randomly pictured at a celebrity dentist this year as well, Dr. V. Dr. V says she's gorgeous and that she's going to be in the Ocean's 8 movie. That she got cast in there. Erica was not in the Ocean's 8 movie as far as I could see. She was not in the credits, but that is what this post says, and that is that. Just sharing that with you. Again, we reflect on that year, and we have no idea what the heck Erica Kirk does for a living. Okay? What is she doing for a living? Who's paying her? How is she getting paid? What is she doing? The only clue that we have is that she's involved with Next Model Management.
Oh, well, them too.
Perhaps managing apartments for Eastern European models. And I'm not entirely sure what qualifies her to do that even. Again, we went out and did not get an answer for that. 2018, we have got to talk about.
Let's go.
I actually had to calm down after learning this because it's...
You get it. You get it. We see it.
Okay.
Look.
I'm going to calm down again.
Chill.
2018 begins with Erica ringing in the new year with Cabot Phillips, her boyfriend, and Lori are going to ring in the new year together. So they are, it's just stunning when you just consider her saying she never dated while she was in New York. It's like, you mean, somebody I think made actually the joke, like she never dated somebody who wasn't famous or somebody who didn't have a platform. Like she wasn't dating no bodies, you know what I mean? Which I thought was hilarious. Anyway, I wanted to put this into the timeline, that it's on April 7th that Charlie predicts his own death and says that he knows that it is going to be associated with Turning Point USA. I just find that point to be very interesting. And he says, if I tell you the true prophecy, I know in my gut it's really sad. I hope it's wrong. He goes on to say, I'm not sure I will live to see the end of this revolution. I believe you were the piece that God meant for me to meet. That will finish the fight. Since the beginning of TPUSA, I knew in my gut that I might get wiped out at any time. I cannot explain it, but I dream about it all the time, like all the time. Anyway, that's depressing convo for another time. And then he says, I'm not really afraid of it, but I'm just telling you what I know to be true. There's something sobering to me when I look at that on the timeline and realize that he messages that to me on April 7th, 2018. And then so much happens. I told you, I had said to you, that there was something about Kanye's tweet that sort of ripped a hole in reality, and I felt like agents were suddenly sent to us. That was me just explaining to you how I felt things changed. A lot of fake people started surrounding us, and it felt like they were trying to artificially pull us apart. It is then just a couple of weeks later, after predicting his death, that Kanye tweets, I love the way Candace Owens thinks, which, like I said, you had to be there because we were just kind of rapping, and I kept telling him that he was going to Kanye is going to come over. I'm telling you, I think he's conservative. And then we learn from Erica that her and her mother go to Israel on pilgrimage or in Jerusalem, and they see Charlie at the airport. Like that was just a natural thing. And her mother says, well, you should go up to him and you should say something. And then Erica ultimately decides not to. And I always thought that story was interesting because I was with Charlie at the airport, and I don't remember her mentioning that. She saw Charlie just by himself at the airport. Anyway, yeah, that timeline is interesting to me. On August 10th, Erica is then, just saw him in May, but then she's going to see him again at Turning Point USA's office opening. She gets invited by Tyler. She doesn't know how she knows, but he introduces her very quickly to Charlie. I am there for the grand opening. I think I remember quickly meeting her at some point. And we don't really know why she's there because, remember, she's living in New York. I guess her family's there. You go back home, but don't you have a job? What is your job? What do you do for a living? And this is around the same time that Erica is communicating that she's doing deals, real estate deals with her family to various people. Then comes September, where once again it is arranged by Tyler Boyer for Erica to meet Charlie, this time one-on-one for a job. And in retrospect, this really bothers me because that's not how job interviews happened at Turning Point USA. You were not taken to meet the CEO of the company at a restaurant in New York. That's just not how job interviews work at all, actually. Like, why would you do that? Like, okay. And they sit down and Erica says everything perfect and amazing and exactly the things that Charlie wants to hear. And there begins their relationship, you could say, right in September when they meet at that restaurant. Then comes October 24th, and Erica somehow becomes a licensed real estate agent in New York and is immediately employed by Corcoran Real Estate Group. And we went back, and people have reached out to us. Erica, it looks like, did a total of 3 possible rentals under somebody else. Like she wasn't even the main realtor.
What?
I don't understand that. I don't understand how she's working for Corcoran Real Estate and doing real estate deals. And she does this on October 24th. I want to point to October 30th.
Uh-oh.
When I told you that suddenly people were trying to pull me and Kanye and Charlie apart, you just felt it, okay? And out of nowhere, Kanye, who did actually help me design the Blexit logo in Chicago, he was getting an insane amount of pressure and told that he could not get involved in politics. He was putting on the MAGA hat. Things were going crazy. I think Kim was threatening divorce at some point, if I recall correctly. And Kanye cracks and he tweets a series of tweets. He writes, I introduced Candace to the person who made the logo and they didn't want their name on it, so she used mine. I never wanted any association with Blexit. I have nothing to do with it. He then follows that up by saying, my eyes are now wide open and now realize that I have been used to spread messages that I don't believe in. I am distancing myself from politics and completely focusing on being creative. And let me tell you, this was one of the hardest things for me to go through. I mean, I love Ye, love him now, but like it was just, it was untrue, and it allowed people to then, I mean, every single article, Candace lied, and I actually have a photo of me and Kanye in the Trump Hotel in Chicago, and I didn't know what was happening, and I, at the time called a friend, and they were like, you don't know what he's going through and what sort of pressure he's going through, and Charlie and me were just devastated. We were devastated by this because it made us look like we were liars, okay? And we were in a position where people wanted to see us fall, okay? Why am I telling you this?
Right. Get to the
I get reached out. Somebody reached out to me. I get reached out to by a young woman in New York, and she says to me that at this time, she said, oh, Erica knew Kanye. And I said, Erica didn't know Kanye. What are you talking about? Erica never knew Kanye. She said, no, Erica knew Kanye. And I said, nope, she wasn't even in the picture in April when Charlie and I were doing all the Kanye stuff. She's never been with him. There's no pictures, whatever. What are you referring to? And I just assumed that this was like maybe something that Erica said, she lies all the time. Maybe she was just like, oh, now I date this guy, now whatever. And then she says, no, I have like actual proof that when all that stuff was going down with you and Kanye and Charlie, that Erica was backdialing and telling people that she knew the people that were around Kanye, that she had family that was around Kanye, and pushed for that tweet to go out.
Are you sure your tax expert is right for you? Switch to TurboTax Full Service. You'll be matched with a TurboTax expert and get real-time updates on their progress. And you get your best outcome guaranteed. Switch to TurboTax Full Service.
I can't even fathom.
The Adapt Runner is built for people who are on their feet all day and want to feel good doing it. The Zero Drop
Look.
Okay.
Okay.
So I said, can you get me some proof of that? And this young woman in New York got me the proof of that. Proof that, at the very least, Erica was making that claim. What I can tell you is that neither me, nor Charlie, nor Kanye knew that Erica knew someone on Kanye's team that, and now who knows if it's her real family or her Nicole Rothstein family, or she just calls everybody family.
Sure.
But you're telling me she's playing like she's some cute new girlfriend watching us go through this entire thing, being absolutely heartbroken, and yet she's like on the side telling people that she knows like why that went out. She knows why Kanye, like, his hand was forced. Let me tell you guys right now. I will find out who in Kanye's circle knew Erica when that tweet went out. I will find out. I will call Ye and I will find out. I will figure out how duplicitous this woman is. That she is playing the role of, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that this is happening to you, while telling people that she knows the other side of it. People that are pressuring Ye to do this. Okay? It took me a lot to process that. Like I said, I would not put this out here unless I was 100% certain of it. I am at 100% certainty that that is what Erica told. This young woman had receipts. So she, in my book, Erica, is a whole fraud. Just a whole fraud. And then to jump back into this timeline, look at this. We don't know what she's doing. Suddenly, she gets her real estate license. And I'm just going to say that it's long been understood that real estate is a really easy way, a really easy means to move money. Okay? So she sits down with Charlie. Suddenly, she gets her real estate license. Kanye's tweeting, peace out, Brexit. Erica then filmed Summer House. But look at December 31st, though. December 31st, the end of the year, Feed Me Incorporated is formed. Feed Me Incorporated will eventually become Superfeed Technologies. Superfeed Technologies is the company that both Erica's mother and Tyler Boyer are on the board of. Okay? So that's interesting. That company gets formed. As Erica starts dating Charlie, that company is formed. And these people know each other. These people all know each other. It's her one blind spot. She just can't, that's her one category she can't remember is how she knows Tyler Boyer, even though he is in business with her mother and has her behind Trump in 2015. It is my personal opinion that a deal was done. When I look at the evidence, when I look at everything I'm looking at, when I see how duplicitous she was, and I know that Charlie did not know these things because I was there.
Let me look it up real quick because she can't say it twice and me not look it up. Duplicitous. I don't even know how to spell that. Oh, there it is. Duplicitous. It's something with two, right? Oh, no. Deceitful. Oh, duplicitous behavior. Oh. Deceitful. Okay. I don't know.
Closest person to Charlie while he was beginning to date Erica. Okay, no one spent more time with him or spoke to him more. He did not know these things about Erica Kirk or Erica Franze was her name at the time. We had no idea that she was telling people that she knew the people
Around, yeah.
that were in Kanye's orbit when he sent that tweet out.
Right.
Something is not right. We all know something is not right, and I am just aghast at the people who are going to continue to pretend like all of this is perfectly normal. Anyway, we should take a brief pause before we continue. We'll be right back. All right, you guys, if you've been following me for a while, then you know how much I love Riverbend Ranch steaks. If you have not tried them yet, now is the perfect time because not only are they delicious, but beef has just been placed on the top of the food pyramid by the USDA. Beef is a complete protein and it contains all 9 essential amino acids that your body needs to function. It also keeps you fuller for longer, reducing cravings and snacking. It is one of the most nutrient-dense foods out there, packed with protein, iron, zinc, and B vitamins that help support energy, strength, and overall health. So if you're looking to make smarter choices for your health this year, Riverbend Ranch is the perfect place to start. For the last 35 years, Riverbend Ranch has been creating an elite Angus herd by using ultrasound technology to select genetically superior cattle with a focus on flavor and tenderness. They only use the top 1 or 2% of the entire Angus population as their breeding stock, producing beef that has much more flavor and tenderness than your average Angus beef. All Riverbend Ranch cattle are born and raised in the USA. They never use growth hormones or antibiotics. You can taste the difference yourself. Head to riverbendranch.com today and use the promo code Candace at checkout, and you'll get $20 off your first order. Again, that's riverbendranch.com, promo code Candace. Also remind you guys about American Financing because have you looked at your credit card statements lately? You're working 40, 50 hours a week just to buy groceries and gas, things that you used to be able to just afford. And the banks are charging you over 20% interest for the privilege. I mean, really think about that. It's designed to keep us underwater. American Financing is doing something that big banks hate. They're actually helping people. They have mortgage rates in the...
Joe Kent. What is his name that just who resigned? Yeah, Joe Kent. I understand. Come on now, get it together. That was Joe Kent. He had resigned yesterday. Child, all I had to do was type in resign.
So I absolutely have to comment on Matt Walsh for a tweet that he put out yesterday. Because I was like,
all I had to do was
question mark here. So he has very much been on the side of how dare you attack a grieving widow, kind of making claims that various data points being introduced, like, oh, Erica lied pathologically. There may have been this $1 billion motive to have Charlie Kirk killed, that Erica lied about the fact her husband texted multiple people the night before he said he feared he was going to be killed. His overriding point is that these various points are not evidence, right? How a widow is behaving, whether she's grieving correctly, these things cannot be introduced in court. And /Owens. Okay, so I absolutely have to comment on Matt Walsh for a tweet that he put out yesterday, because I was like, question mark here. So he has very much been on the side of how dare you attack a grieving widow, kind of making claims that various data points being introduced, like, oh, Erica lied pathologically. There may have been this $1 billion motive to have Charlie Kirk killed, that Erica lied about the fact her husband texted multiple people the night before he said he feared he was going to be killed. His overriding point is that these various points are not evidence, right? How a widow is behaving, whether she's grieving correctly, these things cannot be introduced in court. And yet yesterday, he tweeted this regarding a murder that took place in Utah. I was just very interested. He wrote, and this is regarding Corey Richins, a New York Post article that said, grief author Corey Richins found guilty of fatally poisoning her husband for his $4 million estate. And Matt Walsh comments and writes, there's no good moral reason why she should not simply be taken outside the morning after her conviction and hanged. This woman has lost her right to exist. Okay, that's strong words. So I was just stunned by it because I have to assume he did exactly zero due diligence on this case, a case that I actually followed because it was completely nutty. Now, I'm assuming he was not aware that after Corey Richins murdered her husband, fentanyl overdose, she at first played the role of a grieving widow for an entire year. She was not arrested, suspected in her husband's death initially at all, because you know, she's crying. She called 911. In fact, she was so bold in her grieving widow stage that she wrote a book, a children's book regarding grieving, and she did a little local book tour where she actually repeats some of the things that we've heard Erica say, like, you know, the nights are the hardest. Take a listen to this ABC clip of Corey Richins, who had not yet been arrested, a year later, promoting her book.
Joining us now is author of Are You With Me? Corey Richins, to share her 3 C's to helping kids cope with grief. And Corey, I want to start with your story. What happened in your personal life?
So my husband passed away unexpectedly last year. So it's March 4th was a 1-year anniversary for us, and he was 39. It completely took us all by shock. And we have 3 little boys, 10, 9, and 6. And, you know, my kids and I kind of wrote this book on the different emotions and grieving processes that we've experienced last year. And, you know, hoping that it can kind of help other kids, you know, deal with this and kind of, you know, find happiness some way or another.
So you actually wrote this book with your children.
I did.
And it's only been a year. How did you process and say you go from processing death to I need to write a book and help others?
You know, I just watched the struggle that my kids were going through. And I actually, you know, I went on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and trying to find something that we could use to cope at nights. Nights are the hardest, it seems like, for everybody when, you know, dealing with anything. But I just wanted some story to read to my kids at night. And I just could not find anything. I couldn't find anything that really, you know, suited them or helped them find comfort and peace. And so, you know, I was like, let's just write one. And so, you know, I took things that my kids have said to me this last year, and we kind of articulated it and put it into a story, and, you know, just have hopes that it will help other kids.
She just kept saying it over and over again, you know?
I mean, I'll tell you guys, in short, this woman was not actually a grieving widow. She wasn't a grieving widow. That actually, one could argue that she may have even been a psychopath for doing this, being able to do this after she killed her husband. March 4th, 2002 was when her husband, Eric Richins, was murdered. And it took them until May of 2023 to bring charges against her. So more than a year to build a case. And do you know how they built that case? People who actually cared about Eric and offered various details, and, you know, to the point that, well, none of these points and various details about how Erica is grieving would ever survive in the court of law. Ironically, in this case against Corey Richins, for which she was ultimately found guilty, the prosecutors played the 911 call and said explicitly that it didn't sound like a grieving widow. Okay, take a listen.
We're going to listen to the first part, actually most of the 911 call again. I ask that as you listen to it, you'll hear the first minute. The first minute is not the sound of a wife becoming a widow. To echo her friend Chelsea Barney, the first minute is the sound of a wife becoming a black widow.
I stopped making recipes that needed mixing, not because I'm busy. I just need the effort. I found this KitchenAid hand mixer scrolling through QVC, and it's perfect. It's quick. It's got 7 speeds, so it handles thick batter easily. No stopping, no mess.
Her own friend said she's not grieving right. She sounds like she's become a black widow, not a widow. And it gets even crazier. They weren't even able to prove how she poisoned her husband. Check out this headline. Okay. Prosecutors in Corey Richins' murder trial could not prove how she poisoned her husband. They didn't need to. So they literally did not know how the fentanyl got into her husband's body. The article tells us, quote, to prove their case, prosecutors relied largely on circumstantial evidence to tie her to Eric Richins' death. Cases based on direct evidence are not necessarily stronger than those that rely on circumstantial evidence, legal experts say. Unlike direct evidence, such as eyewitnesses or recordings of a crime, Circumstantial cases require jurors to determine a defendant's guilt by weaving together indirect evidence. In Corey Richins' case, prosecutors focused on potential motives for Corey Richins to kill her husband, and the actions they said show that she had a guilty conscience after his death, both elements that can illustrate a defendant's state of mind. They also used digital records to corroborate key witness testimony, which strengthened their circumstantial case. Quote, all of these things together start to add up, and the prosecution builds this huge mountain, end quote. And you should know that in this particular case, they relied on things like the fact that she was in financial distress, that she had been having an affair, that he apparently wanted a divorce, that she was, as you heard, grieving differently or not at all. They also found a life insurance policy that they deemed to be fraudulent. Now, I'm sure her attorney argued that it was just a clerical error or whatever, but they found it to be fraudulent. And of course, she was set to inherit millions with him gone. The star witness in the case was actually a housekeeper named Carmen, who testified how Corey would come to her and ask her to buy drugs on her behalf, which allowed them to then speculate that this is how she got her hands on an illicit street drug. Now, all of that is not to suggest that Erica directly murdered Charlie, but it is to say that were it not for Eric Richins' actual friends, siblings, the housekeeper, even Corey Richins' friends who turned on her and said, no, something is not right. She's not behaving correctly. Something is off. People who were willing to stand up and do what you guys describe as immoral or evil and demanding a further investigation when nothing makes sense. If they hadn't compiled those other facts, were it not for their willingness to show text messages, private correspondences from Eric, showing the messages to the public, to the investigative team, and to refuse some foregone conclusion that spouses simply would never have a hand in the murder of one another, which actually flies in the face of reality. The reality is that you're most likely to be murdered by someone you know. That's just a fact of life. But were it not for those people who did not accept the narrative of his accidental ingestion of fentanyl, Corey Richins, the woman that you believe should be hanged for poisoning her husband on the basis of circumstantial evidence, would probably today be considered a brave single mother trying to clean up the mess left behind by her husband's untimely death. And so what I would say is, here is what I know. Grieving widows do not lie about threats that their husbands were facing the night before their death. They don't lie about that stuff. Grieving widows do not make up quotations that the surgeon never said about a Superman neck to manage PR, least of all on the day that they're burying their husbands. I know enough to know that those things simply don't make sense, and I refuse to pretend otherwise. So since you are now in the habit of calling people out publicly for caring, I thought that I should respond and encourage those people to keep going. It's okay if you get some things wrong, but keep going. Go Max, do it for Charlie. Believe me when I say that Charlie would want you guys to. We'll be right back after a break. All right, you guys, this episode is brought to you by Native Path Grass-Fed Collagen for better bones, joints, skin, hair, and nails. Have you noticed that your skin is losing some of its glow, that your nails and hair are maybe feeling weaker, or that it's easier to tweak a joint or pull a muscle? Well, right around age 30, our bodies start producing less collagen every year. By the time most people reach 60, they've lost about half. That's why I use Native Path Collagen. It was created by Chad Walding, a doctor of physical therapy who spent years trying to find a clean collagen supplement for his patients. When he couldn't, he decided to make one himself. The label has one ingredient, so there's no fillers, no additives, and is third-party tested. It only takes 10 seconds to add to my routine. It dissolves instantly in any beverage. So if you want stronger nails, healthier-looking skin, less joint discomfort, and even improved DEXA scans, go to getnativepath.com/Candace right now. There's a special discount plus free shipping for my listeners today. Again, that's getnativepath.com/Candace. Just last week, in case you didn't know, declassified CIA documents caused national outrage after revealing the connections between parasites and cancer that has been intentionally hidden for decades. Big Pharma doesn't want you to know that simple, effective anti-parasitics are a massive threat to their bottom line. They'd rather treat your individual symptoms for years with pharmaceuticals rather than address the parasitic root that's causing and actually driving the chronic illness crisis. This discovery proves that a parasite infestation is not just a small issue, it is actually the root cause cause for a plethora of chronic ailments. When these invaders stay in your body, they trigger the kind of deep-seated inflammation and cellular damage that leads to long-term illness. It is time to stop being a profit center for Big Pharma and start taking your terrain back with Purge Advanced Parasite Cleanse. This protocol targets the parasites that the establishment refuses to acknowledge, flushing out the toxins and restoring the vital energy that's been stolen from you. Head to purgestore.com/Candace to receive 15% off your order, plus a free bottle of Digestzymes, plus their ultimate gut support. That's purgestore.com/Candace. All right, you guys, top comments from our episode yesterday. Number one, I loved this. Someone wrote, so we are not supposed to attack Erica Kirk because she's a widow, but even though Joe Kent is a widow, we can attack him because he is anti-war. Got it. Look, I don't write the rules, but yeah, they are this ridiculous. Just make them up as they go along. And Lady Ray Perland writes, the notion of being called a Nazi because you don't want to go to war is wild. Yeah, Nazi just has no meaning. It's like, just everybody, we're all Nazis. Okay, cool. Give us our Hugo Boss. Like, it's just so ridiculous. Nazi. It has no meaning. It doesn't land. Nobody cares anymore. Like, there is just no appetite for being shocked when someone is called a Nazi anymore. Also, jumping into comments for this episode, actually, I do want to shout out some people. I want to say that this series has been made possible by just so many people around the world that have given us little tidbits, people online who have similarly been fighting for justice for Charlie. And all of these small accounts, I just feel like they're never going to get a ton of credit for the things that they have done and how they have assisted various things. So today I just wanted to shout out, and I should be doing more shout outs, but _ Lynn's Mac on Twitter goes by Real Truth, Real Justice. I just wanted to shout her out in particular. For the hashtag Justice for Charlie. There are so many accounts that are like this, and Lynn's Mac is a real one. I'll leave it at that. And to get into today's comments, after Mrs. W writes, after the last two episodes, I'm starting to wonder if you're pregnant again. Pregnant Candace is fire, and I'm so here for it. Love you so much. Go Max. That's so funny. My PR person called me and told me that he said the exact same thing this morning, and I was like, man, I really have a pregnant reputation. Like, if I have been fired up lately. Seriously, I feel you guys. Everyone saying that is so funny, though. I see you guys in the comments. She must be pregnant. She must be pregnant. Jenna Ped writes, I so wish I could hear you speak and pray tomorrow at the Catholic for Catholics event. I have been offering my daily masses for you and your family, offering my mass for you tomorrow on the Feast of St. Joseph. Truth wins. Christ is King. Mary is Queen of Heaven and Earth. Keep going, Max. Thank you so much. And also, all of the emails from Catholic World make me so happy. I did want to show this email, not the email, but the picture, because it made me really happy. I hope she doesn't mind. It was just one of our fans, Credo Catholic. She purchased our I Told My Priest I Would Chill sweatshirt and then snapped a picture with her priest, and it's just adorable. So I just wanted to show that. And she's like, I'm like you, I'm super feisty, and they just look very happy here. It just was a bright spot in my morning. So there you have it. Speaking of which, if you would like to get your own gear or your own kit, we've actually just dropped our Make Him a Sandwich line and all of our gear, which looks really good, by the way. Look at online.
Everyone thinks I had a skin tightening treatment, but no, I just started using these plant-based balms from Norway. I'm in my 50s, and my crow's feet.
What is that?
Not that. For the people that actually cook like I do. Look at that. It's very good quality. We are stepping the game up. Look at that. You guys can head to CandaceOwens.com, and yeah, there's a lot of great stuff. We are really trying to step up the merch game this year. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Josie writes, James first. James the Least writes, Joe Kent, Carrie, Prejean Bowler, Candace, and others are going to witness for faith tomorrow on enemy territory. Surround and protect them with your prayers. Christ is King. Truly do pray. I mean, it's just, like I said, so crazy the way that they have attacked this event. And it's always the gang stalking. It's the phone calls. It's like, why are Catholics not allowed to meet and pray? This is not a political event. We were not billing this as like an anti-Israel event. This is not, Candace getting up and giving her usual political speech anywhere. And it's been just particularly vicious toward Catholics, actually. General Flynn is also speaking, and he wrote a Substack yesterday about how Catholics have been under attack, and it's despicable. It really is despicable. Like, Catholics can meet and get together. And by the way, I want to say that for everyone who's not a Zionist, like, there are also a ton of Jewish people who are not Zionists. I've been getting definitely an increase in emails from Jewish people who are getting it. They're just like, why are we attached to Israel? Like, what is this? Like, why do we have to account for what Bibi Netanyahu is doing. He's a criminal, and he's not even practicing Jew. It's completely absurd, and all of that stuff is just meant to divide us. Eamon Cullen writes, Romans 12:2 is such a powerful passage. Now it's time we all let the word of Lord Jesus Christ renew our minds and stop being led by the ways of the world. I think that's happening. I'm super optimistic. I think we all are sort of waking up and realizing that fighting each other is only benefits the elite, the Epstein class, so to speak. This user writes, remember the note that Erica found on Charlie's desk? Read how it said loneliness. It makes you wonder if something must have been happening behind closed doors. I mean, I've told you guys the truth, which is that they did not have this, how she bills it as this like super happy marriage, and whenever he wanted to go, I was fine with it. And that's fake. Okay. I didn't say it when it was first going down, but like it now that I'm just seeing how she lies and having learned about the Kanye thing, I can't even go halfway. I can't even go 10% with the fakeness. And she's just a fundamentally dishonest person who should not be at the helm of that company or any company. Actually, I don't even know what she's ever done in life. I can't figure out the timeline. Who is Erica Kirk? Couldn't tell you. Honestly, couldn't tell you. Anything other than the fact that there are a lot of problems with her alibi on September 8th and on September 10th, what she says that she was doing. And that will be our series finale on this, the Eric Kirk series, The Bride of Charlie. We're not going to see you guys because I'm doing this Catholic event. We will not see you guys tomorrow. Right. We will also not see you guys on Friday because we don't do Fridays. So we will see you on Monday for that series finale. We'll see you guys then.
See you then, my love. I'm gonna be here tomorrow because I do schedule tomorrow. So like, I'm definitely gonna be here for sure. Let me just see real quick. I'm scrolling. I was hoping that Tucker would. Be on my timeline because I think, excuse me, Joe Kent was over there. What's going on over here? Hold on.
On the House Oversight Committee are speaking now after listening to Attorney General Bondi talking about the Epstein files. Let's listen in.
To our lawful subpoena in a deposition. So instead I asked Chairman Comer if he would compel her to come to our deposition. If she did not come, would he force her to, or if he would move for contempt hearings as he did for other people who did not respond to our subpoena. Instead of answering as an adult, he said that I was bitching, which is, again, something that would not be allowed if we were operating under the rules of this committee, because engaging in personalities is actually something that we are not.
Don't get me started on Pam Bondi, Lord. Nicholas is almost at 1 million views. Should we watch him? Shall we watch him? I was going to watch him last night while I was laying in the bed. Who did I end up watching? Star Talk. Who is that over there? Star Talk. I can't even think of his name right now. I can't think of his name. Astrophysicist. God, I can't think of his name. Ooh, an hour 41.
Breaking.
Look.
We interrupt your normally scheduled programming because we have to. Me and my brother got an interview running right now as we speak on the Vlad TV channel.
Right.
But we got to do something that has never been done. While one interview is running, we got to do a completely separate interview because there is a war that broke out in Iran, and there is nobody better to speak to about it than Sergeant Nicholas Irvin. Nick, what up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, brother? Hey, Soldier Boy don't have nothing on this right here, man. You know?
Soldier Boy, Boosie, 6ix9ine, none of them.
It's all good.
Yo, Nick, real talk. In the history of Vlad TV, I don't believe that this has ever been done.
That's crazy to me. And I've watched Vlad since many moons ago. you know, before I joined the Army. Definitely when I was in.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, I've never seen it done. Currently, you and I have an interview running, and we just had to bring you back on the platform because you offer a unique perspective that I don't think.
He walked out, got in the car, and was like, "Hold on, real quick, come back." He was probably on the way to the house. He probably was putting the key in the door. Hey man, come back, bro. Damn.
Any guest on the platform can speak to in real world scenarios. I mean, your perspective comes from a place of experience. It comes from a place of been there, done that, and I can't wait to have this conversation. So
okay, well, go on.
Let's just talk about Operation Epic Fury. It's a hell of a name.
It is. That's our name. I know Israel has Roaring Lion. That's their name.
Correct.
It's still pretty, you know, significant, but different. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, last time you and I spoke, I asked you specifically, did you think that this was going to happen? Did you think we were going to go to war with Iran?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't think so. You said you give it 3 to 6 months, if I can remember correctly. If, you know, by the time this thing airs, there is a strike.
See what I mean?
But it definitely seems like we're gearing up.
I'm talking about fresh retwist. Same pants, same watch. I think we probably got that shirt on under the hoodie now.
I was going to give it, if we're going to do anything, 3 months to 6 months max. 3 months. I can see something in 3 months. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I believe 3 to 6 months, but then, you know, after you had informed me on the, like since 2003, we haven't had that build up in the Middle East since 2003. Then I was like, okay, been there, done that. I know what's about to happen. And like a day after the interview dropped, or the day we got done doing the interview, the next day is when it popped off. I don't know if I'm like a bad omen at this point, but I don't know. But yeah, it was way sooner than when I predicted. I gave it a few months.
Now, you know why I thought, you know, that it was about to go down? And actually, if I can remember my words correctly, I was like, yo, by the time that this interview airs, I wouldn't be surprised if the U.S., if there was a strike. I didn't realize at the time, or I didn't think at the time, that it was going to be the U.S. and Israel.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, if you watch the news, and it's always the buildup in the media. They prep you for stuff like this.
Yeah.
They desensitize you. They get you ready. So I saw all of the warning signs like, yo, this is, you know, they're prepping us because we're about to strike. And it didn't surprise me at all, truth be told. Okay. Before we get into Epic Fury, I think that the last operation, I don't even know if it was 2 months ago, Operation Midnight Hammer, I think that's what it was called.
In Venezuela.
Correct.
Yeah. Yep.
No. That was actually in Iran. Was Operation Midnight Hammer in Venezuela?
Midnight Hammer. You're right. That was I'm sorry. Are you talking about the nuclear facility?
Yes.
Okay. That was a few months ago.
When we struck in Iran,
allegedly.
But President Trump, he said we completely obliterated Iran's nuclear potential.
Exactly.
That was his words.
And that's what gets me too. It's like, I mean, if we completely obliterated something, and then fast forward a few months to today or a few days ago. And it turns into Iran was like weeks away, days away before they were able to be like, almost untouchable when it came to the nuclear program. But I thought Midnight Hammer was completely like obliterating their nuclear program. And that's what got me. I'm like, that was a setup, a precursor to where we are today. And it was like, I don't know if it was to get the reaction of the American people, to see how we would react to, doing a top secret mission, Tom Cruise style, to hit this nuclear facility allegedly. It might have been a pile of dirt, a hole in the side of a mountain. But there's one thing I do know about bombs and mountains. You go back to Afghanistan, 2001, 2002. We bombed the shit out of Afghanistan. Back when we had Bin Laden, rest his soul, Dalton Fury, a Delta Force commander who was on that operation. He wrote a note in my book, and if anybody who reads my book, they'll see Dalton Fury's endorsement in my book. And really great guy, rest his soul. But it's like, you can bomb and drop bombs on these people, but when you're like, embedded in the side of a mountain, deep underground, there's only so much you can do. And allegedly, Bin Laden got away. I don't know if that was the U.S. let him got away type deal to prolong the war. I'll say that's my belief. I do believe that, and I know 2 Delta Force operators who were on that operation, and they suspect the same thing I suspect. They kind of let him, get away. Some helicopters came in, picked somebody up. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Why is this the first time I'm hearing about Bin Laden getting away? Allegedly. Why is this the first time I'm hearing this? I was trying to figure out how. Okay, so yesterday. No, I think it was Monday. I was like, let me take these iPads off the charger. Stand up and get my legs a break. I think it was Monday. I had saw this interview on my algorithm, and it was like at 425,000 views, or 477,000 views, and I was like, dang, this motherfucker going crazy right now, and I couldn't understand why. Like I couldn't quite gauge. Like, dang, what is this damn interview going crazy like this? I had to get up. I had to stretch. We had just finished Candace. I was like, hold on, let me get up. Let me stretch. Hold on. Let me get the iPads off the charger. Wasting electricity. Not Bin Laden got away. That is the first time I done heard it. Got away is crazy though. Oh my God. Got away is crazy. We have to address the fact that, like, got away though. Y'all was trying to, never mind. None of my business now. That's way out of my pay grade, honey. That's way out of my pay grade. I can for sure you that. Completely out of my pay grade. Let me go ahead and put this peanut butter up. Let me go ahead and put my trash up. Stretch my legs. Oh, that doggone Bin Laden. Oh, I love that doggone Jules. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Miss Rachel. She didn't want to put me on the Jules. Shout out to Mrs. Rachel. Because she definitely put me on the Miss Jules now. For sure.
But I do know, having fought in this war, you can drop bombs on these people, and it's like they just get tougher over time. It's not like, pumping a mole pumping gas underneath where moles live at and setting it on fire, blowing it up or whatever. This is different. These people are built different. They've been fighting this, war since before I was born. Ooh. And they've been planning stuff since like the 1940s or 50s for that matter, for situations just like this. Do I think we hit anything? I don't know. But what I do know, if you're smart about war or even have the paranoia that, hey, some countries might be after me, I'm going to move my stuff underground, off radar. And I think that's what Iran may have did. But do I think that the Operation Big Dick Hammer, whatever you want to call it, do I think that obliterated their nuclear program? I didn't think so from the get-go, but that's what our government told us. And the first thing that, that dies in war, like I told you, is the truth. That's the first thing that goes in war. I don't believe anything. I've been in combat, 6 deployments, contracted. And when the numbers come out, if I were an American, I'd be questionable about the numbers that do come out. I've been on multiple operations where the news, I was sitting in the chow hall one day. This happened a couple of times. We would get done a mission. I'd come back, a few hours later, I'm at the chow hall eating breakfast, and I watched that another unit did X, Y, and Z. This many people were killed, and we got this guy. Yeah, we got this guy, but the unit was wrong, the casualties were wrong, but it's being put out on Fox News and CNN. And I'm like, oh shit, I was just on that mission. And I've watched it multiple times.
If you're looking to learn how to trade, a community is very important. And I've joined previous communities, and teaching wasn't one of their strong points. So I was left with guessing. Trade with the pros definitely goes down to the basics so that you can understand the process of trading. I don't have to guess. I can access recordings if I miss a lab. I can also do one-on-ones with accountability coaches. That gives you an understanding of how trading with the pros can help you.
That's so crazy. And I really do want to highlight what you just said. The first casualty of war is truth. Mm-hmm. I mean, that is such a deep statement when you think about it. And you haven't been over there, witnessed it firsthand, participated in it, and you look up from the chow hall and you see almost immediately that the truth is distorted.
Yeah.
The facts are completely different from what you know to have happened.
Yeah.
And I think in large part, that's what we're dealing with here. Again, allegedly, a month or two ago, the nuclear potential of Iran was completely obliterated. But here we are, fast forward 6-8 weeks later, we're at war with them, and it is specifically because they have the makings of weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah.
What's right? What are we supposed to believe?
I'll tell you what you believe. Looking back at 2003, before that, like 2002, 2001, 2002, going to war with Iraq. They told us the same talking points. Mm-hmm. Anybody who remembers that, I used to study war. In middle school, I studied war. I used to steal books from the library, like break in, steal books from the library, just to read books about war. I got in trouble for it. And I've been studying this stuff all the way to my adult life, to today. I still study war. But the same talking points that are being spewed out by...
Isn't there a book called Something of the War? Something of War? There's a book about war. It's... I can't think of it.
Our polytricksters in office. It's the same talking points that got me to believe that I was really going to go help out in Iraq. And I don't believe that now. I've gotten older. I've been there, done that. Granted, at the time, I did have a lot of fun. It depends on what you classify as fun. I don't look at the killing anymore as fun. To a degree, there were certain cases where, it was all right. But what got us into that war was one big lie. And I don't think the American people has had enough time to digest that and put the feet to the fire of our polytricksters in office and say, hey, you sold us on a lie and got thousands of people killed, over 1 million Iraqis, civilians killed, and we haven't addressed that yet. And those same talking points that allowed us to do that is happening right now.
No, you're absolutely right. And the truth of the matter is,
you're absolutely right.
We sit home and all we have to go on is the news cycle, your social media feed, and you don't know what to believe. You really don't. If you are pro-war, then of course you're going to latch on to the idea that America is defending not just itself, but the world at large from one of the greatest nuclear threats of our era.
You know who else has nukes though? North Korea.
Absolutely.
There's a few other countries that have nukes, but we don't touch them. We just seem to be going after the same brown people. The same brown people who live in the desert. We keep going after them. There's a few other countries that have nukes, or the potential to have nukes. But we don't go after them. We go after these people who live in the desert somewhere in the Middle East under this guise that, they're about to have nukes, like we talked about last time. Bibi Netanyahu has been talking about this for like 40 plus years or whatever. Since the 90s, he's been talking about it. They've been weeks away, days away We obliterated it.
Months
It's completely set back to the Stone Age. And then a couple of weeks later, it's like, oh, they're about to get it again. And they were weeks away from it. It's the same talking point. And I'm like, we just keep going after the same people. And is it really for our best interest? Is it for our freedom? Or is it for somebody else's?
You know, and that's the $1 million question. We don't know what's behind this.
Oh, I do.
We don't know. Go ahead.
I do. I think we all know what's behind it. And it starts with the letter I, ends with the letter L.
Oh, Israel.
You're right.
Is ISIS, Ra, and L.
Not ISIS.
Israel. I don't know.
I hear you loud and clear, brother.
Yeah. I think they have AIPAC. I don't know. I think it's way too much pull and way too many strings being pulled on our polytricksters. They're nothing but actors at this point. They're paid actors. And their producer is in another country in the Middle East somewhere. And they get paid to go out here and act like politicians, act like they have us in our best interest. They don't care about us, the viewer. They care about the producer. They care about making him happy. That way they can get another production. Another production means another paycheck. We don't have politicians, we have actors.
That's well said, Nick. It really is. And when you really sit back and think about what you said, it's totally plausible and totally believable. You know, because why are we again in a war? You know, what is the benefit to America, to the American people, to be here? And it just doesn't seem like there's any, especially when we were told that that threat was neutralized. Matter of fact, to be more exact, it was obliterated. So why are we here? But, you know, I want to go back to February 28th, which is all of 10 days ago. The decapitation strike. At 1:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the U.S. and Israel simultaneously launched a massive joint air campaign on Iran. Over 2,000 targets were hit that day. But I really want to focus on the supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, if I'm saying it correctly.
Yeah.
Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, was killed.
Yeah.
And the reason I want to talk about him specifically, and I really want you to sit with this. In that region, the supreme leader is above a president. It's above a prime minister. It's above a king. It is literally the second in command to God.
Yeah.
He sits right under God.
It's like the Pope almost.
It's like the Pope.
Yeah.
First, I want to get your thoughts on us taking him out. But I want you to think about it. The man was 86 years old.
Exactly.
How much more time did he have?
Yeah.
This year, we opened 2 new restaurants while running, how many?
5 others.
5 other restaurants. So we turned to Upwork. We found freelance.
I look at it like, I break it down in like a few ways. I guess you could say, 1, what threat was he directly to the U.S. people? You know? 2, I think about, is the U.S., are we still involved in active assassinations? The last time I checked, I don't think we're, you know, like heavy in that game of assassinating foreign leaders. But then they call it not a regime change, but you want to kill the regime leader and then have say-so in who the new supreme leader is going to be. Sounds a lot like regime change to me, just like they are not calling it a war, except for, you know, on Wednesdays and Thursdays when it is a war. Other than that, then it's just like a targeted campaign. You know, it's the equivalent of calling 9/11. It was just targeted attacks. It was like not an act of war. Or Pearl Harbor, it was just targeted attacks. Those are all acts of war. But when we do it, oh, it's just like strategic attacks, targeted attacks. It's not war. 3, like you said, yes, he was 86 years old. How much more time did he have? You know, it's like Bin Laden on dialysis, traveling through the mountains of Afghanistan, Tora Bora, and making it to Pakistan, all while on dialysis. Then you do the raid and you don't find a dialysis machine. I don't know. I do know that I don't believe anything that's being put out. And I think that this was all about regime change, but not in our benefit. And not just regime change. I feel that there's a certain country that kind of wants to control the entire Middle East. And if you look at the wars we've been fighting since I can remember, it's all about the Middle East. It's always been. And whose interest are we fighting for? Is it the American people? If it truly, really was, then go back to 2003. You don't got to go back that far. 2003. Saddam Hussein, weapons of mass destruction. Like, what threat did that really pose against us, the American people? All to get over there and find out, oh, it wasn't even like that. We don't know what we saw on Midnight Hammer, whatever that operation was. We don't know what they really hit. No one was there. You got presented some satellite imagery of some holes in the ground. Those same satellite images back in 2003 where Colin Powell was talking about, oh, these are missiles of mustard gas and X, Y, whatever the fuck he was trying to say it was, WMD, turned out to be nothing. It was all made up. So if they're willing to lie to those same people And it's not the same people, it's the same entity. It's allowed to lie to you then and lie to you before that. The warmongers or the people who are all about war, it's like, one, those same people who are all about war, you ain't fighting shit. You never fought shit. You're too much a coward to get off your fucking mom's couch, stop eating Cheetos, get in shape, go put bullets in people. You don't want to do that because those bullets fly two ways. And that's the quickest way to find out a coward is somebody who runs their mouth about, oh, we're all about war. I want to go, we should go do this, we should go do this. No, it's in French. It isn't we. Nigga, it's I. You won't go do shit. You'll sit there behind your little computer screen and talk about how much you love war, but you never had to go see your friend's head blown off. You never had to taste your friend's blood. I've had to do that. I've had to stick fingers in bullet holes. I've had to swim neck deep in water and taste my best friend who just saved my life. I've tasted his blood. And I've killed a lot of fucking people for it. Those people don't have to live with that. They don't have the dreams at night. They don't have the issues that we have, the guys who've been there, done that. So yeah, fuck a warmonger. I don't believe that. If I ever did become president, which I have no desire to, you better believe it's gonna be like George Washington, but I'm black. I want to be there on the front lines. I want to support if I'm going to support you, there's no better way than to support a troop than signing that dotted line and go play volleyball with some bullets. Nobody wants to fucking do that. So yeah, I don't care about those people are cowards. There's a recruitment station in every hood. Go to a high school. Go to any lower income high school in America. You'll find a recruiter there. They're not hard to find. But yeah, I don't like those people. Am I proud of what I've done? I don't know. I'm proud of certain things that I've done, but not everything. But yeah, those same people who sold me that lie are doing the same thing today.
Yeah.
Why would they change that? You never trust it. Once they show you who they are, believe that shit. Believe it. They don't change up. Our government has never went to rehab, never went to go seek help from anybody else. They don't even seek help from us, the American people who vote. Those who do vote. They don't care. So why keep believing the game?
He talking
Yeah,
shit.
Nick, I mean, you are spitting straight facts like that. You are spitting today.
Pop your shit, nigga.
What you're saying is so real and it's so powerful. And I really want people to just try to digest your words.
Child, please. Oh, man. Ooh. I was all into it. Child, I was all into it. Damn.
I just zone in on some quick highlighted moments, but what you're saying is like tasting the blood of somebody who minutes ago saved your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, wow. Just powerful words, man. Powerful words.
Yeah.
You know, you spoke about regime
in
change.
these Vlad TV streets, okay? The numbers don't lie. 722,000. Numbers don't lie.
And let's not get this twisted. According to polls, 81% of Iranians didn't like that regime. 81% of Iranians.
Who?
According to the polls.
The polls. And here's I've never in my life been polled on anything.
No.
I don't know anybody who's been polled on anything.
So,
these polls, I think, come from with inside the news organizations who spew the propaganda.
Right.
These polls, I mean, who are they polling? You mean to tell me Fox News, CNN, Newsmax, whoever, went over to Iran to go poll some people who speak a completely different language? Where are they getting the polls from? I've never been polled. Did they poll the Iraqis and the Afghans too? I've never seen a poll in my life. These are all internal organizations. They're doing internal shit to fucking spew propaganda. These polls aren't real. And the same person who was saying to believe the polls told you not to believe the polls last election cycle. When somebody...
Don't get me started. Don't get me started. They want you to believe the polls when they want you to believe the polls. But then they don't. They want you to not believe the polls when they don't want you to believe the polls.
That's right. Somebody else was favored to win. The same person who's telling you, and the people who are telling you to believe these polls, we can go back to Hillary Clinton, when she was like viewed on winning, and the polls were astronomical. There was no chance Trump could win. Those same polls that fucked up royally are the same polls we're telling you right now that 81% of X, Y, and Z gonna happen. And what to believe, polls ain't nothing more than bullshit to make you believe something that ain't true. Polls aren't real. I've never been polled a day in my life. My parents, they've never been polled a day. My grandparents never been polled a day in their life. I don't know anybody who's being polled, the American people, the Iranian people. I mean, the statistics show, like, if my whole inner circle and my outer circle, I don't know anybody, and let's say one person got polled. I mean, who polled you? One person out of 1,000 people to me, seems like bullshit. And they say the American people feel this way. I don't feel a fucking thing about what your poll says. And 9 times out of 10, I'm completely opposite. These polls are deception. It's propaganda. It's television. I'm going to tell your vision what to believe.
Ooh.
That way, when I do something, you feel like you're not the outcast or whatever that poll says. Nobody ever wants to be the outcast.
No, you're right. You know, even as you're speaking, I mean, obviously, I've never been polled, but I don't even know one person who has been
Exactly. So where are these polls coming from? Who are they polling? It ain't us. It ain't us. It damn sure ain't us.
Damn sure ain't us.
polled. Okay, what's your thoughts on this then, Nick?
Go.
Iran. They're considered one of the leading state sponsors of terrorism. This is, if we're speaking, again, what's out there in the media and being pushed on us. Iran itself, you know, they're considered to be backing all of the major groups and proxies, from Hezbollah to Hamas, Palestinian, Islamic Jihad. I mean, we can go on. Do you think that's true, or is that just hyperbole?
Not hyperbole.
I think it may be a mix of both. And what I mean by that, I mean, if you want to look at like the biggest contributor to the terrorism, we gotta, I'm gonna be like 100% honest, we gotta stop looking at ourselves as the good guy. Out of our 250 plus years of existence, we only haven't seen war for like 14, 16 years. We've got over 200 plus years of continuous war, being involved in war, killing innocent children, women, men, people who have nothing to do with nothing.
Non-stop.
But we go over there and bomb the fuck out of them. You'll go send guys like me who didn't know at the time what we were doing to go kill a bunch of people. Thousands of them as a unit. Dozens and dozens and dozens as individuals. So who's the real contributor to like, we've killed more people, more innocent civilians than all those terrorist organizations you just mentioned combined. If you add up all the casualties from these terrorist organizations compared to the civilians that we call it, it's the cost of war. So that makes it okay?
Come on.
I think the definition has been skewed in such a way to make people believe that, these people, because they say Allah Akbar and the way they look, those are the bad guys. Those are the bad guys. It's the magician's greatest trick. Well, not the greatest trick, it's the easiest trick. I'm going to keep telling you, look over here. And behind my back, I'm setting up everything I need to set up to fool you again. And we've been fooled. Like I said, 250 years plus of existence as a nation, United States, we had like 14 to 16 of those years, we haven't seen war. That's fucked up.
Right.
Like, why are we so obsessed with war? Why are we so obsessed with violence?
I don't know. I have no idea. And it's terrifying to like come to this realization at the age of 35. It's absolutely terrifying to come to this realization. And then this is not just coming from anybody, honey. This is Nick. Like he said, he ain't nobody. He ain't just a nobody, honey. He done served. He done did his time. He ain't proud of it, but hey, he did what he had to do. And thank you for your service. Yummy.
Whoa. What's
don't
that?
see it.
I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys, Nina just built an app.
Teeth and all. Teeth and all.
You know, Nick, one of the most profound things that you just said was we have to stop looking at ourselves as the good guy.
Exactly. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
It's so profound. And I remember when you and I first started to have these conversations, you would speak about the young Nick signing up, going to war. And you would always have this blanket statement, the bad guys, the bad guys, the bad, because that's what they sell us. Everybody who's not us is the bad guys.
The people who sent us over there at one point to...
Look, 2023. Look at Nick. Sitting in his office chair. He got his glasses. I'm talking about retwist where? Line up why? Beard, okay, young Nick. Look at young Nick, 2023.
Bad things to bad people. As soon as that job is done, they act like Pontius Pilate and wash their hands of the whole thing and they're done with it. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, you touched great point. You said they sent us over there to do bad things to bad people. And I just remember that,
Yummy.
I remember that very distinctly because I would speak to you and it just, if they can get you to believe that, these guys are the bad guys, then I can tell you to do whatever I want you to do.
Not just tell you, manipulate you, brainwash you.
and you have no conscience about it.
Exactly.
I'm keeping America safe. Because those are the bad guys. Without thinking about their lives, their families, their cause, and the fact that they look at us the same exact way that we look at them. We're the bad guys.
Yep. And it's like.
Go ahead.
I look at it like. I'm not gonna say like Hitler or whatever. I mean, you kind of could. He convinced an entire group of people to do bad things to good people, or whatever. And then there's one side who believes that. There's other side believes that the opposite. I don't know that. I just think we have our definition of what bad is skewed, and I think that we've been pushed
misconstrued
so far as a nation to back before we had social media, it was just the news stations and our parents and my parents and back then you got the radio. They all believe what. Because that's all there was. We had no way of like fact checking or verifying. You couldn't talk to someone in Iran. You couldn't talk to someone to Israel. I've been to Israel, and I may or may not have been to Iran once or twice while in the military.
May or may not.
And Pakistan, But what I do know is that the news that they get is completely different from the news that we get.
There you go.
It's completely different. And that was like the biggest shock to me was actually not to stop believing that they were the bad guys, but getting out my bubble of that military mindset of. Hey, these guys are bad. These guys are terrorists. They're not really people, and that's what made it easier for them for me to kill them. But having got out that and traveled the world and done stuff on the outside and got a chance to like witness culture, witness the news, and observe different things, I'm like, man, this is so ass backwards. And I've been to countries that look a hell of a lot. I've been to countries to where you've been told that this is a shithole country, but I've been there, and it's the exact opposite. It's the exact opposite. I'm like, man, I don't know. I think there's way too many people who've been brainwashed the same way I was. So no one can get mad at me for being the way I used to be. I was under that same brainwashing spell, that broadcast, that casting of that big spell through television. I've been under that same spell. So you can't get mad at me just like I can't get mad at no one else other than the people who like constantly want violence or war who've never seen it. Yeah, fuck you. You don't know what that's like. But everybody else, I think it takes a lot more getting outside that bubble. But that's one of the most uncomfortable things to do, is to get outside your own bubble and experience life for what it actually really is. We get so caught up on our own made-up reality. To shatter that would be detrimental to our own sanity. Why would your brain doesn't work like that? It's all about comfort. So to break that cycle of comfortability, to be comfortable and believe this, whatever the fuck you believe, whether it's a lie or not, it makes you comfortable. To shatter that on your own, your brain's constantly fighting that. You're gonna fight yourself. Nobody wants to wake up and go outside and sleep in a ditch for fucking 2 weeks. No, when you got a bed 2 feet away, why would you do that? It's the same type of logic. Nobody wants to break their own bubble and step outside and see life for what it really is. Life can be a beautiful thing if we experience it, but a lot of us are too caught up on an LCD screen and what a talking shoulder and head person says on the fucking TV.
Nick, you step foot in Israel, Iran, and some of these countries that when you watch their news feed is completely different than ours. But you don't even need to leave U.S. soil. All you have to do
social media
is watch CNBC, CNN, then turn to Fox. Go read the New York Times. I mean, the messages that we're getting, it's all about what you believe and what you've been conditioned to believe. You can get the messages that you want to hear.
Exactly.
Yep. It's almost like the dealers. Like, I'm going to go over here because this is what I'm addicted to.
And it strokes my own ego. It strokes my own belief.
There you go.
And that's the problem, I think, with news. News isn't news. It isn't, news, entertainment, weather, and sports. It isn't none of that shit. It's a large broadcast spread to the north, south, east, and west. That's what the news is: north, east, west, and south. It's a wide broadcast, and depending on what side of that compass that you lie on, is the one you're gonna go to, because that one fits me. I don't like the south. I don't like the north. I don't like this. I don't like the west, because I don't like the way that they say things, and it's not what I believe. But what you believe may be fucking wrong, and what you believe. Not just wrong, what you believe is just probably made up anyways. There's a lot of shit that people do, and I've been in the same boat. I probably still am in certain cases. But there's a lot of things that we do and believe to be right isn't right.
For sure.
It just makes us feel good, because if we found out that it was wrong after this long belief that we were right, it would fuck us up.
No, it wouldn't fuck us up. I just think that it would just force us to have to change and, kind of take accountability for our wrong thinking, not knowing, that unlearning. I had learned.
So I said to him, "No, Nigel, not without the brie."
Indubitably.
And you are?
Oh, don't worry. I'm basically one of you now.
How did you get in here?
trying to see if I can hear go. There's this thing called unlearning. You have to like unlearn something.
Absolutely. And people are so closed-minded.
Yeah.
In this country, my God. You know, we will stand on our side of the fence, and God forbid somebody has an opposing view.
Right.
God forbid that somebody doesn't believe exactly what you believe.
Right.
You know, the way we have become so divided in our own country, it's insanity to me.
It's the divided states of America. It's the divided states
there
of
you
America.
go. Yep.
There is no united. Since my lifetime, I have not seen united, except for one day. And whether that was a real, whatever you want to, I don't want to get into that, but on 9/11, that was like the most united, I think, we've all been as a country. I wasn't here for World War II, Pearl Harbor, wasn't here for it. But I do know in my lifetime, you know, and I've been around for a few moons, but that was the only time I think we've ever been united. It's gotten so bad now, you can't even say like, do I believe in Christmas? No, I don't celebrate it, but if someone says it to me, I don't get fucking offended.
Right.
Merry Christmas, whatever.
Right.
But people make it a political thing. You know, you can't even wish people happy this,
Right.
without getting political.
Right.
We're divided.
We're completely divided. It doesn't matter what it is. You know, from gender to the Second Amendment to war. This is a divided country.
Yeah.
Yo, let's bring this thing back around to Iran for 1 second.
Iran.
Iran, they took a hit, but it's not like they're going down without swinging. They launched something like 500 plus missiles and drones at Israel and even some of their Gulf partners. They sent missiles at the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain. What do you think that's about? Like, those are some of their Gulf partners.
I think it was all like to hurt us. Like, I don't think they were attacking those people directly. I think it was about attacking things that we may have had over there. Military bases, equipment, infrastructure, things of that nature. I don't think they were going after like their neighbors in that sense. I think they were going after us and the neighboring countries. And they hit us where it hurts, like where the oil's at. You know, once you fuck up that barrel, that oil, you know, things get kind of messed up over here. You can shut down a bunch over here, not just like gas prices. You can shut down certain routes of transportation of goods and services.
No, you're absolutely right. You know, the Iranian president, he's since apologized for striking his neighbors, but those strikes still continue nonetheless.
Exactly. It's not about killing them. It's about hurting us. Whatever we have over there, whether it be radar systems, missiles, military bases, troops, personnel, anything affiliated with the U.S., 100%. That's what it's all about.
You know, I don't think those neighboring countries are, you know, taking it kindly. You know, obviously it's a tactic. Iran wants to get at us, but you're still bombing your neighbors.
Yeah.
People who would normally be there right by your side. So I got to answer the question. You know, who has Iran's back right now?
Russia, China.
Ooh.
No, yeah, okay. Where's Russia at?
Exactly.
And China has not said a peep.
Yeah. And I can't really give too many props. I'm not even props, but like what help could Russia even really provide us or provide the Iranians when like they're fucked up with Zelensky, whatever, Zelensky. Yeah. They can't even, it's been years since that war. And damn.
In Ukraine.
In Ukraine. From Finland? Where is he from?
Who, what'd you say?
Zelensky.
Ukraine.
Yeah, Ukraine. Damn. I was in Finland a couple years ago. I got my little two mixed up. But yeah, Ukraine. Like he's having trouble with that. So you can't even really give like too much. I don't know. You can't give too much props to Russia. They're having a hard time with them. So with Iran, I don't know who their allies will be at this point. I know. Take that back. I think they're allies at this point, which may not seem like a lot, but depending on how you look at warfare, guerrilla warfare, conventional, unconventional, I think it's people here, people in other countries, people who sympathize with them, and just the whole Muslim culture as a whole. If you sympathize with that, that's why we had, you know, what's going on in New York right now. So I think that those are their greatest allies at this point, is having people who have the same ideology and beliefs that they do, filtered around the world. Those are their biggest allies.
Yeah, but when you're at war and you're taking the beating that it appears that they're taking, you would want real allies with real muscle, a lot of munitions, missiles.
That's a very conventional way of thinking about war. Very conventional. We fought in the Middle East for 20 years in Afghanistan. They didn't have all these rockets, missiles, drones. I didn't know about a drone. Well, I knew about drones. We had them. But the way they're using them now, I didn't know about that till, you know, a few years ago. like the rest of America. You don't need much to sustain and win a war. You don't need much. Look at Vietnam. Vietnamese didn't have all these weapons and everything like that. It was strictly guerrilla warfare. A few IEDs here, a few vehicle-borne IEDs here, a few shootings here, massacres. That's all you really need. I mean, we got airports being, evacuated for, bomb threats and things of that nature. It doesn't take much to shut down a country. It doesn't take much. So to win a war, you don't necessarily have to have ICBMs, nuclear missiles. You just have to have a few people who believe in your cause to wreak havoc and be willing to die for it.
Getting hard and getting turned on are not the same thing.
That is why Blue Chew Gold was created. Science shows.
No, Nick, this is why I love having these conversations with you. I love that you just check me. Yeah. Because I'm sure myself, like so many other people who have never been to war, we think about war in a very, very conventional way.
Exactly.
And the fact that you're like, nah, that's the problem.
Right.
You're thinking about it traditionally, conventionally.
Right.
And, we could go back, like you said, to Vietnam. You can talk about Afghanistan where these people were outgunned. They didn't use the same tactics, but they caused a very big hurt on America.
Yeah.
And to that point, you touched on briefly New York City. And obviously, this is my city. And, New York officials, they confirmed on Sunday that 2 devices that were recovered during protests over this war in Iran, they were actually IEDs.
Yeah. And what did we talk
thank
about?
God they didn't go off.
What did we talk about, I would say last year and a half ago? I said this was going to come to our country. Now we're just going to have to sit back and wait.
Oh! Flashbacks going crazy.
For those sleeper cells or terror cells that are, over here to do their thing. But I 100% believe it's going to happen.
Really?
Within the next 2 years. Within the next 2 years, I'll say that. And if I'm wrong, good. But I think in the next 2 years, we're going to feel terrorist attacks here. 100%. IEDs.
Yes, you did.
Shootings and all these things. I'm 100%. And I think we're just getting started. This is like the intro. And these were 18, 19-year-old kids who had enough, not brainwashing, I don't know what you want to call it, but they believed so much in a cause that they decided to go out and do it. When that entire demographic, that belief system, or not even entire, a few dozen, a majority, a little bit, decide to pick up arms and say, hey, what's going on to my people is fucked up, and they start playing by their rules, that guerrilla warfare, we're fucked. Because we are going to be fucked. There's only so much you can do to prevent guerrilla warfare, but that involves you to become a guerrilla too. And I don't think the average person wants to be that dirty and get down that dirty. No, because that means your life, it don't matter at that point. It's got to be for a greater cause. They know they're going in there to die, get arrested, get shot, whatever. That don't matter. It's martyrdom. They want to go meet those, whatever they believe in, whether it's 72 versions or $72 million in cash in the afterlife. I don't know. But whatever they believe is out there waiting for them, that has more power than it does here in this reality, in this world. We're too caught up on the next fucking iPhone that's coming out. I got to be alive for that. I got to be alive for this next little thing that don't mean shit. They don't think that. They don't think that way. We don't have that same ideology to where we're willing to die for something that we believe in. If we did, our government would not be where it's at today. We wouldn't be having these problems. We will be able to rise up and say, hey, we're being controlled by a bunch of sick, weirdo pedophiles.
Not sick and weirdo.
Run our country, if we was really about that life, but we're not as a whole.
But we're not as a whole. It's okay.
And what happens after the division comes to conquering. We've already been conquered. We've lost as a people. There is no more we the people. No, we've already lost that. And the fact that we think we can keep winning by going to the voting polls and no, I mean,
please, never mind.
The same people are still the same people. It's the same system. They worship the same Baphomet. They worship the same system. The same mark of the, we all have the mark of the beast here in America, damn near. The mark of the beast is continuing to play this system, this game. And we see it. We know it's fucked up. We know it's sitting right. You can go back. People were getting taxed on tea, like 2%, 3%. And they said, oh, hell no. You can't go anywhere in America and not get, you can fart and get taxed. They tax us for fucking everything. We went to war about this shit not long ago, relative to time. So voting ain't gonna do shit. There's only one way to cure a forest. Trimming off the hedges don't work. And that's all we're doing.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you, Nick, it's an extremely scary thought. To think not only that a war can and will be fought on our U.S. soil, but it'll be done by individuals and they'll be labeled radicalized and they'll be labeled enemies of the state.
Our founding fathers were called terrorists. George Washington was a terrorist before he was who he was. We've all been radicaled. I'm not saying to go out and be a radical individual. I'm not calling for that. I'm saying we've already lost. That's what I'm saying. Whether it's our government or another foreign interest, another foreign government with a lot of money to put in our pockets, or not our politician pockets. And then we launder that through a quote unquote multi-million, hundreds of $1 million weapon sale. The same thing we did in Ukraine. But my belief is we've already fucking lost. Like there's there's only one way to come back. And like you said, and like I said, we're too comfortable as a people now. We're too complacent. We're too comfortable. All these other countries that go out there and do it. Why? I'm just saying, like, it's okay for us to go to another country and say, hey, I don't like your president, so I'm gonna go kill a bunch of your people, and I want him to, this person that I hand select. Like, this shit has been going on since before I was born. It's okay for us to do it, but if any other country looked at us a certain way and say, hey, we don't like the way this is going down, let's go do our thing. We'd be like, that's an act of, everybody will be up in arms, want to go fucking fight the next brown person or slant-eyed person. I don't know. We'd be up in arms to go do it. Will we all be looked at as terrorists if somebody else came into our country and said, I don't like the way your government's operating. I want a regime change. I want a government change. And us as American people decide to stand up for our own country and fight back. How would we be viewed? Freedom fighters, terrorists, or logical thinkers?
That's right. You know, I pray it doesn't come to that. I do.
The mere thought gave me chills. I'm like, oh, Lord. Come on, Nick. Damn. Come on, man.
But we are, you know, Nick.
Why do you pray for that? Why do you pray that it never comes to that?
Because it's just...
Nick, you've been to war. 99% of the American public
we
hasn't.
ain't about that life.
What you've seen, 99% of the American public has only seen on their screen. So the thought of it coming
too
close to home, the thought of the idea that now the general public has to start participating, even if it's only participating in your thoughts, choosing, am I going to be on the front line? It's a scary thought. It is.
Those of us who believe and have read the Bible know that the Great Tribulation is going to come.
That's right.
I think that those who do believe in a higher power, Yeshua, Yahweh, we got to stop being scared of certain things. It's already been written. And if you believe in what the great book says, then there is nothing to fear. Because for I am your God. And no weapon formed against you shall prosper. That is man-made. So there's nothing to fear. That's our ego that's keeping us separate from the Most High's will. For you to be afraid, for any of us to be afraid, goes against what the Most High says. And that goes against his will. But we all know, just like when Yeshua was in the garden and he said, but no, I don't want this. I don't want to get executed. I don't want to be put up on the cross. But thy will be done.
I know this will change the course of my life and family legacy in a profound way.
I highly recommend TWP for aspiring and...
You know, Nick, I'm going to pivot with you. Is this the way you think now? Or is this, the man I'm speaking to, a product of you being on the front line, you taking lives, you having your friends' and brothers' blood spill before you? Did you go into those situations thinking as you just, like it's God's will? Whatever's going to happen, it's written already. I have nothing to fear because this is bigger than any of us on planet Earth. Or is this the evolution of Nick and where you sit today?
Gotta be
evolution. I'd say it's a mix of both, to be honest. Like before every mission, and I got over 500 plus missions, combat operations, direct raids, action raids, been shot at, I haven't been shot, but shot at, RPG'd, mortared, whatever, IED'd, and I would pray before every mission. And this was back when I used to practice Christianity. I still worship and believe in the same Most High. I just don't classify as a Christian. We all know what I classify as, and that's a Rastafari. But I do think that there was a time in my life where, and it still is, it's applicable today. I did feel that way, but I didn't fully understand it. And I think that switch for me happened when I was pinned down by an enemy sniper. And I was in a multi-9-hour plus long gunfight. And there was a time in that gunfight, a couple of times, where I debated on, hey man, just stand up and get your head taken off so we can end all this right now. Being awake for 5 days straight, being in a firefight of my life. I debated it. But I think that was the first time I probably truly felt and heard the Most High. And because of who I was at that time and got out and the things that had happened, I put blame on the Most High that I shouldn't have put blame on. I wrestled with him. I was like Jacob before I came to real Israel. I was like him, wrestling with him for a while. And I went off and I tried to feed my ego and got into other stuff that I probably shouldn't have dabbled in. But I was trying to be rebellious. But at the end of the day, I had a huge wake-up call. I got spanked by God, the Most High, and put me back in my place and let me know that, no, there's only one true God. There's only one true. And that came when I was in my 30s. I'm still in my 30s, but it's an evolution of, you may think you understand something at one point, but it takes living and experiencing to actually understand and get it. And do I think I'm there yet? Of course not. Of course not. I think I'm going along the way and I'm learning along the way, but I'm not done this roller coaster ride yet. But it's an evolution. It is an evolution. 100%, yeah.
And that's the proper word to use, evolution. And I can assure you, Nick.
Shout out to the evolution of 2025. Ooh, wait. Girl, I wasn't expecting for you to be making a big cameo like this in 2026, honey.
Most people have not evolved to where you're at. Most people have not evolved to the idea that their life is not their own. You've spoken to me on a couple of occasions. And I remember this vividly. It was one firefight you were in, and I believe you were in Iraq or Afghanistan. And you said you plucked off about 4 different guys. And the last guy looked to his left, looked to his right. He saw all of his comrades dropping. And he literally tossed down his weapon, dropped to his knees, and submitted to the idea. This is it. And I asked you about that. And your exact words to me was, they just believe it's God's will. And that is exactly what you're speaking about right now.
God, the last guy knew it was coming because he stopped and...
Look at 22 with that bull bag. And them glasses. Shout out to them locks, child. Them locks that came a long way.
Swatted. He watched the guy next to him drop, this guy drop, and that was weird. Like, they never ran like that. Like 2 people maybe ran ever. But if they were in a group, you could hit a dude and they'd be like, watch him drop, and because they believe in Allah's will. If that's the will, it's going to happen. So they didn't have fear.
I don't believe many people are where you're at, Nick. I don't believe many people take more out of it.
He's so grown now. Look at me.
They don't believe it's God's will when it comes to their finances. They don't believe it's God's will when it comes to their baby mama and paying child support. They don't believe it's God's will in no area of their life. So to underline, highlight, bold print that word evolution, most people are not that evolved in terms of their thinking as you're speaking right now.
I'm not going to say that's the problem because, I mean, I'm still evolving, but I think that not acknowledging and understanding what that means is a huge detriment, and it's going to keep people back from evolving. It's not realizing that, no, this is even the bad stuff, not even mainly, but the bad stuff especially. That is the Most High's will. So he can put you in your place and humble you to let you know you got no control over nothing in this world. You got no control over it. Once you fully submit and understand that no, I'd rather be moved by the Most High than be moved by me because I'm a stupid son of a bitch. I'm stubborn. And I can be whatever I want to be, not in a good way. Without the Most High, without that higher power, without none of that, I think we're destined to failure. I think we built up our egos so much that we feel like that we are the capital G gods. Even though the Bible does state that we're the lowercase g, but the stipulations with that lowercase, you ain't it. You ain't really him. We can create, we can do, and we can conquer. But that only comes because of him, not through us. Everything that we got going on in our lives has nothing to do about us whatsoever. None of it. And for some of us, it depends on what God you worship. Some people worship the God of money. Some people worship the God of lust. But at the end of the day, that God always loses. Always loses. A motherfucker who chases money for all his life on his deathbed never is like, man, I wish I was here for another day so I could have another dollar. No, they want family time. They want one more time, one more day on this earth, one more second on this earth just to experience life itself. And there's nothing on this planet that creates life and gives life other than the Most High. So you can worship whatever you want to worship, but at the end, there's only one that's going to show you none of it was worth it anyways, and you should have been about that in the first place. We all get humbled at the end.
Yeah, you're 100%.
Pause. Do you see why he got 722,000 views?
You touched on another word that I want to really zone in on. And it almost seems to be a reoccurring theme in this conversation, the word ego. And my God, right now, our president, the U.S. as a whole is on one. The ego is massive.
Yes, sir.
Crazy.
Trump, he's rejected all calls for a ceasefire. He's demanding, as we speak, unconditional surrender. I don't even know what that means. Maybe you can tell me. The Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, he took the podium and he's bringing Americans up to date. And hey, we have taken out the entire Air Force in Iran. We have B-52s flying over Tehran. And for anybody who, B-52s are not quiet. No, that's not a drone.
No.
You hear those things coming long before you see them.
They got
to say we got B-52s flying over Tehran is basically saying they have no Air Force left.
Scribe is how you stop explaining the same thing over and over at work. Watch this. It'll change your life.
In the end, will it be our ego that leads to our demise?
I won't say it's too much for our ego. Ultimately in this war, or just like as a whole.
In this war,
I think it won't be our ego so much as it will be our puppet master.
Wow.
That's going to be our demise. I think ego, we have a huge ego with the politricksters, and there's a lot of ego involved. But
I think there's a hand, a puppet master, that is leading them all along. That's going to lead us to our demise. I don't think ego has so much of a part to play in it. Whether you have it or not, it doesn't matter. Because there's another country, there's another entity out there that is controlling all the strings and how we move. That'd be our demise. And there's been a couple of historical figures in the past who have warned about them, but one was written about so in the Bible, and he was flipping tables. And he warned us about certain types of entities that control and manipulate and pervert your way of thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, while we're talking ego, off topic, on topic, Kristi Noem.
That bitch, yeah.
She got fired. She got fired.
The former Secretary of Homeland Security.
Fired.
I mean, this woman went and spent something to the tune of $294 million on an ad campaign that didn't include Trump, telling illegals to self-deport, and under oath said, yo, I got the blessing from Trump, from his administration. Trump's like, oh, no, you didn't.
Fired.
And I want you up out of here.
Yep.
Fired.
Yep. I never trusted that bitch in the first place, though.
Ooh.
One, I never trust a bitch with a lying face.
Ooh.
Two, all she's done throughout her entire career, and when I say lion face, I don't mean Lying, I mean Lion. Where they do so much shit to their face, they start looking like a lion.
Oh.
You can't even trust your own vision to know when to fucking stop.
Ooh.
You can't trust that. I can't trust nothing you say.
Ooh.
That goes nothing against. I really don't give a fuck. I don't trust a bitch like that. Anybody for that matter who does that to themselves and can look in the mirror and not know when to fucking stop. Two, all she did throughout her whole career was play dress up. That's all she did. She dressed up like these agents. She dressed up like these troops. She dressed up like this, held a gun here, to make herself see and go on this ride along. She's a paid actress, and a terrible one at that. She'd have been better off in like a Tyler Perry movie or a Hulu movie or Tubu, whatever. What the fuck is that? Tubi, whatever those movies are. She'd been better off on something like that. She's not even a good actress. But I mean, I don't feel. I think one is a waste of money. $200-something million is a waste of fucking money.
Well, clearly it's a waste of money. But on top of it, she didn't even so much of have a picture of Donald Trump in there. She mentioned his name, I think, once or twice. And he's like, yo, good luck. I want you out of here, but even more important. I wouldn't say more important.
Cutthroat game. But before all that shit
it's a
happened,
nasty game.
he was all about her. Before that, though, he was all about her. So it goes to show, like, just because he may endorse somebody 1 minute, we don't know what that's going to lead to 2 months from now. So, I mean, it's such a cutthroat game, you can't believe nothing. Because the same people he may endorse 1 moment, he might oust them the next. And it's like, nah, fuck her. She's not even whatever. But he had the whole base and the whole whatever Republican Party, if that's what he's going for still, trying to appease to.
Right.
Like, now what? You just left hang out to dry? Like, now it's fuck her? It was all about this bitch before, so. And I use that term very, not even cautiously. I don't go around calling women bitches. But if you're a female in politics, I kind of think I deserve that right and reserve that right to be able to hold that title for you.
Dang it.
And that goes for men and women. It ain't just the women. A man politician could be a bitch too. And there's a whole bunch of them up in there.
Oh, bitch.
You know, they didn't just get her up out of there, but allegedly she was having a sexual affair with Corey Lewandowski, and they got him up out of there too.
Really?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me the wannabe has been washed up Instagram model was having a sexual affair with somebody? Oh no. Come on. They're like, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're like, yo, we're gonna put the trash out with you and take your man with you. Get him up out of here too.
Go for it. Hey, she got what she wanted, I guess. She got some followers on Instagram, maybe. I don't know.
Nah, but I'm gonna tell you something, Nick. You know, and this is word to the wise for anybody out. Like, it was all good just a week ago. I bet you right now, like, her phone went from blowing up. Like, she probably couldn't answer every call. There was people who treaded lightly around her, people who laughed at her jokes, told her how good she looked in the face despite knowing, damn, this chick
busted.
You know, maybe you might want to stop spending that money on them enhancements in your face. To now, that phone probably ain't rang since last week. People that quick got out, like delete, block, and it's just crazy.
Hey, that's what OnlyFans is for. That's what I heard. But
I'm gonna tell you, they, like, on that side, I don't think she make no money.
I don't know.
The MAGA crew will be like, nope.
They got bitches selling like jars of fart, you know, for money and bath water and shit. I don't know. Like, I know who owns OnlyFans.
Jars of fart is crazy. I can't catch it. I be sitting here just farting. I can't catch it. Is that mason jars? I believe it's them little mason jars, because that's the only thing that's going to hold it. How are you supposed to catch a fart? You know, because like when it comes, it's like, oh, especially when I be sitting here, I be, So I'm like, I guess you got to have like a jar around you at all times or something like that. Sounds interesting. I like the idea.
Maybe she's better off on that. Somebody, there's always there's something for somebody. There's something for somebody.
It's always
No, absolutely. But I'm just saying that to say this.
This why be on YouTube.
I would love to see where she's going to end up. Obviously, she's going to write a book.
I'm about to say, yeah, you
that's
know exactly
always
where.
the golden parachute.
Yep. You got the book, you got speaking engagements, you know, like every other politician, the whole same run of what really happened behind the doors book, you know? She'll put one out.
Correct.
Should I
Okay.
help her write it?
Build apps that scale.
It's always got to be
Meet Base 44. Prompt it. Foundation.
You know, we got to say something.
Yeah, Nick, I think to this minute, we've lost something like 7 servicemen.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I think one passed away yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So we're up to 7 servicemen. But on the Iranian side, I mean, they got some really conflicting.
First of all, we're doing very good on time. I had sped it up, and then I sped it up even more. Because I was like, I had sped it up to like 1.5. I'm like, yeah, okay, come on now. And so right now we're at 1.65. I can go 1.7. Let me see how that sounds.
I'm seeing numbers that say 1,500 people have been lost, including civilians, and as high as 25,000.
So I've been at 1.7 the whole time.
That's a hellified spread right there. Like 1,500 to 25,000.
They be talking so slow.
If you had to guess, where would you see that the number is leaning? Is it leaning closer to 1,500 people?
I'd say more than 1,500. Yeah, more than 1,500. You got to think
but they're going up to as high as 25,000.
Yeah.
That's a big gap.
It's a huge gap. But I mean, when you look at these areas, right, we're dropping these bombs, and they're not small firecrackers. You know, we're dropping bombs. Densely populated areas, like high rises, hotels, whatever. I wouldn't put it past it if we're edging closer to like 10,000 maybe, 5 to 10,000.
Yeah, that's where I would put it.
Yeah, it's high, and you got like the whole reporting and how that goes. You know, you can lose an entire family in the blink of an eye because you were all sleeping at a whatever in your home. This building got hit. Your family caught shrapnel. I was hit too. You know, you got the whole school incident right there with the girls' school. The numbers that we get, the numbers that we're being told, it's never the right numbers because the real number is probably scary and hard to fathom. You look at, like I said, Iraq, over 1 million civilians. You can't fathom 1 million people. The average person can't fathom, I can't fathom 1 million people. Like standing in front of you, what 1 million people looks like. It's hard to fathom that. Do I think the numbers is higher? Of course. We won't find out till later, but it's how they report stuff too. We're looking for stuff immediately. If you call this country a third world country, the way they report stuff, the way their medical systems work, the way their internet shut down, there's really no way right now, 24 hours, 48 hours after an attack to find out exactly how many people died. We won't know for weeks, months, exactly how many people we've injured. And let's say if it is 5,000 people, 10,000 people that lost their life to, indiscriminate fire, casualties of war, whatever. Imagine how many more are wounded. On the U.S. side, 7 U.S. soldiers died. How many wounded? 15, 20? The numbers tend to always double or triple on wounded. And then out of those wounded casualties, how many, will turn out to be, are already life-threatening, critical, and then they end up dying, or will end up dying sometime later on down the line. Just like this last U.S. troop. Rest his soul. I'm not sure if it was a male or female, but rest their soul. Because I think that any age fighting a war right now is too young. An unnecessary war at that. But it's not a war. It's a strategic, whatever.
There you go.
Yeah. Can't call it a war, even though there's people dying on both sides. I wonder how their family feels about that. But and that soldier died later. He was wounded, I think, on the first.
Yeah.
He was wounded on the first, and it took him this long to finally pass.
A week later.
And it's like, yeah, it's the same thing what happened to John rest his soul, Benjamin Kopp, the guy who saved my life. It took 7 days before he died, succumbed to his wounds. He was shot in July, took 7 days to finally pass, and it was about a week before we found out. 7 days. But we don't know what these other wounded soldiers look like, what they have to go through. And even if they don't die, which I'm praying they don't, but the fact you have to live with those injuries, I mean, I couldn't imagine. There were many nights that I stayed awake before I would deploy or while on deployment and wonder, like, man, if I do get injured, what do I want to go? Do I want to lose my hands? Do I want to lose my feet, my legs? What do I want to lose? I can go without walking, but I can't go without being able to touch my wife's face again. I can't live like that. So at that point, I'm thinking about some stupid shit. And if I can't walk, props to those guys and I have too many friends who have lost limbs, arms, legs in combat. And I look at those guys as like Superman because I know me. I think I do, or I thought I did at the time. I don't think like that anymore. I don't really have a reason to. But knowing me at that time, and that's why it's props to them. I was a selfish, man at that time. And for me not being able to touch my wife or feel the earth anymore underneath my feet, I wouldn't want to. That's just me. So props to them for sticking with it and staying this long. And I wouldn't want, I can go down that rabbit hole of that, but we don't know what it's going to lead to. But what is it worth? What is it for? What is it for?
You know, Nick, that's why these conversations with yourself is so important.
Yeah.
Because
That
you can speak.
perspective. He just has that perspective.
From a perspective that the average person just can't. I mean,
Fathom.
to hear you say and mean that you've had these types of conversations with yourself. If I do get injured,
With
what body part would I want to go?
Right.
How many
That
people do you
is
think wake up and have to have a real conversation with themselves like
With
that?
themselves.
How many people do you
Never.
think really, like truly,
I've never
have ever had to look in the mirror? I mean, granted, there's some dudes probably in the street who probably have accepted that, you know what, at any given moment, I might not come home. But to truly think from a micro perspective, like, nah, this ain't just about losing my life. I might step on an IED and there's some body parts that go, which body part do I want to lose? And how would that affect me after? That's why I love these conversations so much, because you get us thinking and you bring a reality to a situation that people can't fathom beyond what they see on their screens.
Ever.
And that's not real life.
Damn.
It's not.
He's so wise.
The police officer at the scene told me to never sue the
And he
driver
rather
who
love
crashed
it,
into me
too.
after my car accident. I took his advice and got one.
I never looked at it like that. I never.
No, because you take it for granted because you've been there.
Yeah, for me, it's like, I guess it was normal. Like my second deployment, we were bombed we were mortared every single day for 3 months. I'm talking in Mosul, Iraq, 2007. We were mortared every single day. To the point where you hear like the sirens going off. I've been on phone calls and on Zoom call or whatever we had, Yahoo Messenger,
Skype.
where you could see the person before it was like Zoom, conversations. I would talk to my wife on the phone and she's like, what's that noise in the background? I'm like, oh, that's the sirens, You stop going after a while. You're like, I don't fucking care. And then you learn to sleep through it. Like, what does it matter? If I get bombed while I'm asleep, I won't feel it. So you just learn to sleep through months, weeks on every fucking day. You're getting bombed and you don't care anymore. And then if you, like the ones that do get close and you get like a little bit of shrapnel inside your tubes, we call them, where you're living at. Even when I was contracting, my first day when I was contracting, we lost 35, 40 guys, not Americans, but they were Ugandans. And a mortar landed right beside, it was a brick wall. We had where I was at, a brick wall, and where they got blown up at. And you just don't care anymore. And when you do care, in my last deployment in Afghanistan, it was IED Central, landmines. I watched one of my guys, I'm not going to say his name, he became a preacher. He knows what I'm talking about now, but he stepped on a landmine, an IED, and he blew up. First question out of his mouth was, hey, check to see if my dick is still there. That's all he cared about. He wanted to make sure, that's one of the first things not first things, but it's a good chance that that's going to get blown off when you step on an IED. My first day in Mosul, Iraq, I'm driving behind the guy in front of me, and I watched a 50-pound, 75-pound IED blow his striker off the ground, split it, and him getting carried next to me, butt naked. They cut his clothes off, covered in diesel fuel and oil. And I've been there, you know what I mean? And my thought is, damn, I hope I get it like that. Or I hope I get it and I don't feel anything. Or I hope I get it, but at least my body's intact enough so my parents can see my face. Or I get it and I lose something that's not like detrimental. I'll take a leg here. My last firefight, I wanted to put my hand up just to get out the firefight, just to go on that medevac. I had been fighting for 5 days, 9 hours straight, and I debated putting my hand up, standing up. I'm like, nah, I don't want to stand up because my parents won't be able to get an open casket. Damn, if I put my hand up, I've seen weird stuff happen. That bullet may go in, sprawl, do some weird stuff, and it hits an artery. Then I die a slow death. And while I'm thinking that, the guy in front of me, my PL, I watched his chest open up and turn to hamburger meat. And while that's happening, I got cop, rest his soul job. I got cop up the stream, bleeding out from his femoral artery. And I watched when he got shot. I watched the arterial spray 20 feet into the air and hit the grass in front of us. Then I watched the blood turn muddy brown. Then I tasted that blood. It tasted like pennies. Then the guy in front of me, his chest opened up. Then my spotter going in and putting his whole hand inside that wound to stop the bleeding. And then while he's bleeding out, telling me, get these motherfuckers. Kill them all. Been there. And during that whole thing, that whole time, I'm wondering damn, I want to be on that helicopter with them. What can I present to myself so I get hit? And then after that, as we're taking out our wounded and dead, I volunteered to be in the back. I said, because if they come inside this trench, this ravine we were in full of water, I want them to just light my back up. That way my guys don't get hit. I'll take the full brunt of it.
Ooh.
And it kept going on and on and on and on. I kept having those thoughts and be in a position to where if something happens, at least I want to be the one. I was the first one to get out that ravine and go up on a rooftop and start laying down bodies so my guys could get out. And then after that, we had to run almost a mile to some trucks waiting for us almost a mile away because they couldn't come in with anything less than a brigade. It was me and less than 35 guys. No other unit would go in with anything less than like 1,000 men. And then I'm volunteering to be the first one out, and I had 6 bullets left. I said, I'll sprint, I'll go out first. If I get hit, I get hit. I'm fucking done. I lived through that. That's just one day. That was one day out of a career of 6 deployments, over 500 missions. That's one day. That's a few hours out of one day.
That shit sounds daunting. Shit. Lord, we thank you for that, Nick. God, we thank you for that, Nick. Oh my goodness. God, we thank you for that, Nick. Damn. She's crazy. Look at Sean.
Nick.
Speechless.
Damn. I mean, I can sit and listen to you talk all day.
All fucking day.
But you and I have sat down countless times already.
Mm-hmm.
What you just said.
Daunting.
It might be the most impactful. Like, all I wanted, like, I'm sitting here glued to your every word. Because it is spoken with such sincerity, such realism, vivid. I can see it all.
Mm.
One guy's chest open next to you. The guy who saved your life is bleeding out to the side of you. I'm right there living it with you.
Mm.
And I can't stress it enough. That's why these conversations with you, like because even as you were talking, my next question to you was going to be, why do you think you survived?
Mm.
Right.
Why did you come home?
I wrestle with that every day, brother. Every day. I don't know.
This is it, Nick. This is it.
I've been told that. I've been told, but I just don't.
This right here is it. I'm telling you.
This is it, Nick.
Because
Chill.
I've asked myself, I mean, come on. You and I have had countless hours of conversation.
Destiny. This is your fate, Nick. This is why you're here. This is why you got the views.
And I've always wondered, like, why?
This moment.
The world needs Nick.
Hang on a second. Curl me for that ulcer? Curl you?
Please don't make me cry.
What you just described in the last 5 minutes, bro, I hope to God colleges, schools, I hope to God they cut that clip up and just let it play. Because it will give people who sit and they pretend war from an armchair and from afar, and they're sending our boys overseas and our young ladies overseas, and they're selling you on the idea that, to use your words, those are the bad guys. It puts it in a whole different light. It puts it in a whole different realism that I don't even know that you can fully appreciate, but I damn sure can.
And that's what I feel like. I feel like, and I feel like I don't have the craziest, time in combat, but if my story does resonate with people to alter their life in such a way that their life doesn't have to look or resemble mine, then I do feel like I'm doing a great service. Because I wouldn't wish, I don't know what normal is. I don't know what it is to be normal. I feel like not normal, but this is what has become my normal. I haven't had a good night's sleep in fucking since I got out. I haven't had a good night. There's not a night that goes by where I don't wake up at a random time because of a fucking bad dream. I haven't had those days. Damn. To some people, all that shit sounds cool, to be able to go fight a war, but then there's stuff behind the scenes that a lot of people don't talk about. They want to present to you an image. I'll give it to you all the way. Well, I can be a bad dude. I can be a 100% killer. But there's a lot of shit that comes along with that people don't talk about.
Well, if you ever wonder if your words make a difference, let me be the first one to tell you they do, bro.
Let me
like
be
real
the
talk. Let me be the
second to
first
tell you.
person. I'm sure you get all the time, just like we tell every other serviceman, oh, thank you for your service.
Right.
Nah, man. I mean, it has taken on a new meaning for me just in this conversation.
Yeah.
When I say thank you for your service.
Every time.
And, we just were speaking about why did you come home?
Right.
And there are many people who might look at you and say, hey, this guy has, that we know of, 30-something confirmed kills. Not to mention how many more that you can't even count. Mm-hmm. But still the good. I'm listening to you and I don't want to liken you to Saul or Paul in the Bible. But this, he turned out to be one of God's greatest servants. And the good that and that was the same man
that's
who was killing Christians. He killed them for a living. That's what he did, but that's not his legacy. He
You know what's crazy? My dad gave me that same exact story.
In the ground. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's crazy you brought that up. It was like 2 weeks ago. My dad said the same exact thing you just said. That's wild. He's like, man, that's crazy. Yeah. That's wild. My dad literally said the same exact thing.
See?
Yeah, I think it's the Most High speaking to you, bro. I think, when it comes, from different places, different sources,
same
take heed.
Message.
But I can guarantee you, Nick, you're here for a reason.
Yeah.
You really are. And
This
what you
is
did
destiny.
overseas pales in comparison to what you're doing right here, just using your voice. It's not about bullets.
Right.
It's not about putting people in the ground.
Right.
I agree.
What you're doing, wow, I almost don't even know where to go from here. Yeah, Nick, I think that's the perfect place to end this thing. When it's all said and done, I want to end it on a high note.
Yeah.
I want to end it on the realism of what war really looks like.
Right.
I want to end it in a place of of power. And I think what you were just saying is just so damn powerful.
Yeah.
I almost don't even know where to go besides to ask you, how do you think that this thing is going to end?
Right.
And do you think it's going to end anytime soon?
I think how it ends, that's a good question. I think how most of our wars intend on ending is we kill as many of them as we possibly can, take out their leadership, take out the son, just like we did with his dad and the rest of his family, to the point to where there's almost nothing left. I think we're going for that route and create like an entire regime change. But looking back throughout history, regime change never works. It's hard to actually accomplish it. What I hope doesn't happen is what happened with all the other times we tried to attempt a regime change, from, you know, Iraq, even going back to Vietnam, whatever that whole war was about. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. War never is a cut and dry. It's never cut and dry. After the first bullet's fired, everything's out the window. Plans change. Everything changes. So I'm not sure. But what I hope, and I pray, that there's no more U.S. casualties. I hope there's no more innocent lives lost. I hope there's no more little girls being bombed in schools. I hope a lot. I hope a lot. But hope can only get you so far when bombs are being dropped. I'm not sure. That's a tough question. That's a tough question. I think we might wrap this up in about 2 more, 3 more, another month or so. But then I also hope it's not like 2 weeks to stop the spread. 2 weeks turned into 2 years really quickly. So
Thanks.
I think that we should all hope for the best and hope we're not being presented another COVID type situation. Where it's 2 weeks to stop the spread, 2 weeks to stop the regime, and we're drawn into another endless, pointless, drawn out war.
We'll end it there, brother. As I always tell you, it is my sincere honor and pleasure sitting down with you, Nick. I mean that, and I mean it even deeper than I typically do. I love your insight. I love your perspective. I love your raw truth.
For sure.
You know, and I think I speak on behalf of everybody who tunes in, not just to our conversations here on Vlad TV, but whenever you're out there speaking, man, you're living your purpose. Whether you see it or not, this is something most of us strive for, is to be living in our purpose, and you're living in yours. You are affecting way more lives than you realize. And with that said, my brother, I love you.